Welcome to a deadline stream for Game Week 38, the final one of the season. And I have to say thank you to everyone who's been tuning in across all the videos and live streams in UCL Fantasy and FPL. I really appreciate it. And of course, I'll go through all your questions as always and also talk about my team. I haven't made my transfers yet, and there is supposedly a leaked lineup for Manchester United. And for people who have 2 or 3 Manchester United players like myself, that is obviously of great interest and can be very beneficial in terms of just doing the best we can in this game week. So thank you everyone who is here right now. I really appreciate it. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. And going into next season, I will be planning to do, let's say, reaction streams on a regular basis. So that could be up to 2 live streams per week. And then if you factor in UCL Fantasy, that's free. And then also alongside the usual team selection videos, there'll also be a separate preview video where I talk about the best differentials, best captaincy options, the best transfers, and also just it's going to be very stats oriented. But of course, as I always say, stats aren't everything, but they do tell part of the story and can be very beneficial in terms of identifying the best assets before others do and before they become the template. But thank you everyone who is here. Obviously, as you can see, my bench right now, not much has changed from my team selection video. I mean, if anything, nothing's changed right now. But if the leaked lineup is true, and I'll be getting onto that very shortly, then I am thinking of making 1 or 2 transfers. And if I do make 2 transfers, unfortunately that does mean taking a -4, and I'm not really too keen on a hit on the final day of the season, but sometimes, it is what it is. Linda says, bench Shaw or Soufal? I'd bench Shaw anyway, and I don't think he is going to start. But yeah, I'd start Soufal. Son to Willock or Kane to Firmino? Son to Willock, if anything. I'd keep Kane. He's got a great record against Leicester. It's actually his favourite opponent, if anything. I know he blanked against them in the 2-0 loss earlier this season at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, but I would probably do that. Vivek says, thoughts on Kane to Wood and Jota to Mane for a -4, or do Son to Willock and Jota to Mane for a -4 and keep Kane? Already have Bamford and Antonio. Interesting. I mean, I wouldn't do Kane to Wood. I know he's got a very good fixture this week, Chris Wood, but I wouldn't get rid of Kane. I'd rather do Son to Willock. But obviously, I get the logic behind that. But yeah, I'd probably do Son to Willock and Jota to Mane for a -4. But having said that, getting rid of Son for a -4 doesn't sit right with me. If it was for a free transfer, fair enough. For example, Son to Mane, and then that's it. But it's a good transfers nonetheless. Singh says, Rudiger or Iheanacho? Already have Mendy. Very good question. I'd probably start Iheanacho because you already have Mendy for cover, but Rudiger I think could keep a clean sheet this week. But looking at it, what do I think is going to happen? I can see a 2-1 Chelsea. I think Villa might score a goal, especially with Grealish back, and they look much better against Spurs. So I'd probably go with Iheanacho. Khalid says 17 points behind first. Take a -4 for Watkins and Digne out for Robertson and Antonio. Already have Phillips too. Any other transfer options if not? Yeah, I was literally going to say put the rest of your team so I can maybe think of something else. So you say Mendy, Phillips, Creswell, Dallas, Fofana, Rafinha, Salah, Son, Kane, Iheanacho, Watkins, Forster, Zaha, Digne, Jota. Any changes? Best 11, still got transfers left. Best 11, I think you've got it covered. I wouldn't make any changes there. So it's kind of self-explanatory. In terms of transfers you can make, so the ones you were proposing were Digne and Watkins out for Robertson and Antonio, and you'd start both of them. I think that's probably what I'd go for. Yeah, I think I'd take that -4 and get Robertson and Antonio. But if you can maybe help it, you could always just do Watkins to Antonio, because either way you're benching Digne and you have Phillips, Creswell, Dallas. Obviously Robertson is a huge upgrade, you'd think, but I'd probably, in your situation, just do Watkins to Antonio. But if you want to get Robertson really badly, then take the -4. But I think it's just worth doing Watkins to Antonio. Mirza says best hit for Jota. In terms of Jota replacements, it's the same as before. I think Rafinha or Harrison, if you don't have them already. Rafinha would be my top pick. Other than that, I think Lingard, I said this before last week when he got 7 points. I think he's still a good option. Obviously, he did blank 4 or 5 times in a row before that. But I think he's still a good option. He can do very well against Southampton. Other than that, best replacements for Jota, I'll be honest, there's not many. Maybe Ferran Torres if you back him to start. Willock, I know it's going down, but still offering great value at the moment. Other than that, I'm not too interested in most of the assets around 7 million or below. Obviously, Greenwood would be one of them, but I don't think he's going to start today. Afternoon, Dylan. 25-point doable. Have 4 differentials and a captain. Well, 4 differentials, yeah, especially if a differential like Mane comes good for you. And a differential captain is probably what's needed to make up a 25-point deficit. But I always say this, even when I'm chasing someone or I'm chasing a certain objective, I always say, in terms of captaincy, just go with who you think is going to get the most points. So if you think Salah's going to get the most points, just go for him. Don't just go for Mane for the sake of it. Having said that, I think Mane this week could be very good. He's got a great record against Palace. I think he scored his last 7 appearances or something crazy like that. So he loves playing against them. But it is doable. It's going to be hard. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but it's still doable. I've seen 30, 40-point swings before. Connor Pearson says, leaked Man United lineup. So let's go into it. So, yeah. In terms of the leaked Man United lineup, according to Paul Swinson, who's apparently a freelance football journalist, so I'm not entirely sure if he's reliable, but I think before he actually called the exact lineup for Manchester United against Liverpool. He got that spot on, I think. But he's basically saying, as expected, wholesale changes for Man United as Henderson, Tuanzebe, Telles, Matic and Van der Beek are all handed starts. Juan Mata playing what might be his last game for the club, and then there's Shortai and I'm not going to try and pronounce the name, actually let me try, Mejibri, hopefully I got that right, are included in the squad. So there's going to be a lot of changes. It's expected that Bruno's not going to start, Van der Beek and Mata obviously taking his place. But how reliable is he? I'm not so sure. He's got it right before, but in terms of these leaked lineups, I would always be taking it with a pinch of salt. Having said that, I always expected Shaw to be benched, so that's why I really want to get a defender transfer done, because I don't want Digne or Keane coming on when they play Manchester City. So it doesn't change my thinking too much, and I'm also really considering Bruno to Mane. That's something I want to do. So within the next hour or so, I'm going to be confirming a transfer or two, and I'll probably involve Bruno and maybe Digne or Keane, and I might get someone like Tierney, like Soufal in defence, and Mane in midfield. That is something I'm heavily considering. So yeah, just anyone there that if you see any leaked lineups, from very reliable sources, then let me know in the live chat, and yeah, just let me know what you think of it. Best Bruno replacement, have Salah and Mane. You don't have to just, buy a like-for-like replacement in terms of price, Das. So in terms of best Bruno replacement, I'd just be suggesting someone that could be doing really well this week. So if I was doing a wild card, a free hit, let's say, for like the best team to use this week, Salah and Mane are part of it, and I'd probably say Lingard and Rafinha. So one of those two, if you don't have them already, I would say is the best Bruno replacement. Fernandez out for a hit. It's something that I'm considering to do, Robin. It depends who you're getting in, but if you're, for example, getting Mane and you're captaining him, then I think it is worth the risk. It's Brandon says, hey Dylan, you should play Euro Fantasy and make videos on it. Looks like fun, mate. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I said this in this video and also in the last video. If obviously I decide to do Euro Fantasy videos, I'll be letting you guys know, and of course I'll be doing several videos per week to cover that. And yeah, it looks like a bit of fun. I haven't actually made a team yet, so I'm just completely focusing on FPL right now. Then I'll look into Euro Fantasy and then see what happens there. And of course, there's still the UCL Fantasy final to contend with. Suvam says, start Son or Iheanacho. How about Son or Mahrez for one free transfer? I'd start Iheanacho over Son personally, but Son could do very well if Leicester play a high line and go for it, because there might be a scenario where they need to win by 4 or more. But I don't think Leicester are going to be that offensive or aggressive, should I say. But Son to Mahrez, I'd probably wait until you have maybe an inkling of who's going to start for Manchester City. But yeah, with Mahrez, it's going to be a big risk. Start Mendy or Pope? I'd still start Mendy personally. But to be fair, Pope would potentially face Sheffield United, so I get your point there. If you already have Rudiger or something, then yeah, maybe just start Pope. But it's a tough one. They both could get a clean sheet. Sheffield United have looked a bit better recently. Mane in for Son, says Lewis. I think it's a great transfer this week. That and also Bruno to Mane, very popular transfers this week, so it could be worth it. Hola, mi hermano. Thoughts on my transfers? Son to Salah and Benjamin Mendy to Chilwell. And I'm thinking of Willock captain. Thoughts? It might be a bit risky because Benjamin Mendy might start, and he's actually got one of the highest points per average of any player. Having said that, not really a huge sample size. But I like the transfers. Son to Salah's an upgrade, and Chilwell could do pretty well this week. Having said that, I would probably wait. Try and wait as close to the deadline as possible. And if there's no news, then yeah, you could just take the -4. It's still good transfers. Eddie says, good afternoon, Dylan. Big day for everyone. Chasing my mini league. 6 points behind James. Ward to Rafinha and Greenwood to Harrison Pepe. That's taken a -4. I like James Ward to Rafinha. I think that's a big upgrade. Not so sure about Greenwood to Harrison or Pepe for a -4. This is the thing though, if Greenwood doesn't start and apparently isn't, then it's essentially a -2 because he's not starting anyway. So I like the Harrison move, even though you're tripling up on Leeds potentially or doubling up on their attack. Yeah, I'd probably do that. Take a -4. Hey bro, pick 2 please. Creswell, Alioski and Rudiger. Good question. I'd probably go for Creswell and Alioski, but that's very tough because Rudiger could keep a clean sheet there. Chisdale, a mini league rival, has United assets, so I hope that leak comes true. Yeah, unfortunately, it's going to be a lot of rotation for Manchester United, which they tend not to do, but they've got nothing to play for, and the Europa League final is coming up, so it makes sense. Jota to Willock, and start Gundogan or Reguilon for Struijk, or start Struijk. Jota to Willock is a good transfer. As I said before, he's one of the names that I would be going for in terms of Jota replacements. Starting Gundogan or Reguilon. I mean, I was completely wrong about Gundogan last week. He did get a goal against Brighton. I'd probably start Gundogan. Yeah. Hi Dylan, are you going for Mane? I probably will, but I'm just going to wait for more reliable sources or any potential kind of team leaks, and then I'll probably base my transfers off that. But I'm just in a bad position where I have 2 Everton defenders and they face Manchester City. If it was any other fixture, I'd potentially just, avoid the hit in terms of a defender because I expect Shaw to be dropped, and I just do Bruno to Mane. But yeah, I might potentially take a -4, and it's something that I just didn't want to do. Like the stream, everybody. Thank you, Peter Peters. Really appreciate it. Hey, Kobe, doing well. And how about you, buddy? Good luck today. And good luck to you as well, Eric. Obviously, I know you're talking to Kobe. And 2 long-term viewers of the channel. Really appreciate it. Any leaks you heard? I saw Phil Jones starting. Okay, I didn't know about Phil Jones starting, but I did mention it earlier. Let me get the journalist's name again. Paul Swinson, a freelance journalist, apparently. He leaked the lineup, but I'm not too sure. He's got it right in the past, at least with the Liverpool game, but not entirely sure about that. I'm a United fan, Shaw ain't starting. Yeah, I agree, Bakul, and it's a very bad situation to be in. Oysen says Wood in. I think he's a good transfer this week. Antonio and Bamford would be my top 2 this week in terms of strikers, but Wood and Kane are still up there, so it's a good transfer. Hi Dylan, hope next season you'll be back. Start Son or Greenwood? Yep, the plan at the moment definitely is to continue next season and to do more videos, in fact. Start Son or Greenwood? I'd start Son, and I don't think Greenwood's going to start based on what's been circulating around. Rafinha or Mane? Very tough, very tough. I'd be more confident in captaining Mane because of his record against Palace and because Rafinha tends to underachieve his kind of underlying stats and his performances, which are so good on the eye test. But Rafinha's a fantastic option this week, and this could be the one that he finally, produces that double-digit haul, but I prefer Mane. How to get team news before the deadline? I mean, this is the thing. This is a source, but he might get it wrong, and I'm not that confident in the source. I'm just saying what's been circling around Twitter. But yeah, Twitter's a very good source in terms of finding these kind of leaked team news. But a lot of them are going to be false. There's going to be a lot of false alarms. So just take it with a pinch of salt and always kind of analyze who the source is or the journalist. Kane, Bamford, Wood up front. I do have Salah, Son, Maximan, Lingard in the midfield. Do I still go for Wood captain? I'd go for Salah personally, but if you're, for example, chasing someone or a certain rank, then a differential like Wood could be good. But I personally would go for Salah. And out of the other kind of names you're throwing around, I think Bamford's a good differential captain, and he's someone else I'd consider, but not for me. I wouldn't go for Wood personally. No pun intended. Dallas, Mane, or Robertson or Harrison? Dallas, Mane, or Robertson, Harrison, so it's a duo. I prefer Dallas and Mane. Will Foden play? I think he will, but I couldn't tell you that for sure. There's so much uncertainty with Pep Guardiola right now and Manchester City lineup, so I'm not entirely sure. And thank you everyone who is tuning in. Really appreciate it. If you haven't already, smash the like button and subscribe if you're new. We're going to keep on going through your questions, and if there's any kind of Manchester United related news, then of course you will be the first to hear about it on this channel. And follow me on Twitter and Instagram. It's the same as my YouTube handle, Dylan_RCM. And you can also contact me there, send me your teams with photos, and also just engage with me there about FPL, football, or whatever it is that you want to talk about. So really appreciate everyone who is tuning in today and also across the whole season. And of course, just very humbled by the support and also just talking about football in general. So really appreciate it. And back to the business. And yeah, this is my team. The potential transfers I am thinking of making is probably someone like Soufal or maybe a differential defender like Tierney, someone who could be a bit explosive, coming in for Digne, and then they will start instead of Shaw, and probably Bruno to Mane. That is what I'm thinking of doing at the moment. Zaha to Lingard, yeah, I'd do that, the lovely lad. No problem, Eddie. Probably going to do Bruno to Mane for free. Would you take out Greenwood for a hit to Willock, Torres, Pulisic, Pepe, etc.? Pulisic has done pretty well in the past. I think last season he did very well on the last day. I would probably take a hit in that case. Robertson, yeah, I already answered that question. The footy guy, no need to spam the chat, please. No problem, Sad. That I try to go for every question, and if I haven't answered your question, then just like after 5 or 10 minutes, then just pose it again, but don't spam the chat with the same question because you will be put on timeout. I'm trying to get through every single question. It's very difficult to sometimes, but yeah, no need to spam the chat to anyone who does it. Do you think Fernandes will start? I don't think he will start, personally, Nathan. Yeah, I'm very, very sure he's not going to start. As for Bruno, not entirely sure, but I think there's a 60-70% chance that he doesn't start. But that's just my gut feeling. I might be wrong. Thoughts on Vardy? Surely not worth swapping to Kane, -4. For a -4, I wouldn't do that. But yeah, I wouldn't be getting Vardy in, but I also wouldn't get rid of him, especially for a hit. Take a hit for DCL to Bamford? Yeah, difficult, but I probably would. If there was any hits I'd be taking, it's involving Salah, Mane, Trent, Bamford, Antonio, those sorts of players. Firmino, Antonio to bring in for DCL. I already have Lingard. I'd still go for Antonio. I think Firmino could have a very good game and yet not get points. He's a differential though, so it's worth considering. And if you have a gut feeling, go for it. But I personally prefer Antonio. Will Bruno or Meslier start? Okay, this is kind of disappointing with Meslier because since game week 32, I think I've been talking about him. He's been doing very well. And then suddenly in game week 37, he's dropped and it's revealed that Casillas is going to start the next 2 games. So Casillas is going to start in game week 38. Meslier won't start. As for Bruno, there's no confirmation of that, but I think he won't, based on what's been circulating around today. I heard Jota is fit, so will he start? Klopp said there's a small chance of him playing, but even if he is, kind of fit, I don't think he's going to be risked. He might just be on the bench, so I'm not too sure about that. It's going to be very, very unlikely, and I'd rather have Mane or Salah. Ben Taylor says, hi Dylan, DCL to Antonio or Bruno to Mane or both for a hit. 24 points clear in the mini league, Zaha only option off the bench. Not the worst option to have off the bench, but I would, from those 2 transfers you mentioned, I would probably do Bruno to Mane because even if Bruno starts, I'm not that sure of a haul. I mean, watch this age horribly. But DCL to Antonio could be worth the hit, especially if you're thinking of captaining either Antonio or Mane. I'd probably take the hit in that situation, but if not, Bruno to Mane is fine, and there's no need. Wood and Harrison for DCL and Foden for -4, or Bamford without the hit? Is any goalkeeper worth a -4 except Casillas and Alisson? Have Meslier. That's the thing. I mean, obviously, in the situation where you don't have a keeper at all, then fair enough. Maybe a hit is worth it, but I just don't like hits for goalkeepers. Wood and Harrison for DCL and Foden. I personally would go for Bamford instead of Wood, and yeah, instead of Harrison, you can maybe go for someone else, especially if you already got triple leads. But I'd rather have Bamford. Forster or Pickford, who to start? I'd start Forster. Sterling or Torres, and what do you think about triple captain Mane? I would go for Torres, but not too sure about that. And as for triple captaining Mane, that is a very big differential because a lot of people are bringing Mane in this week, but they're not captaining him, and let alone triple captaining him. So if he does well, you're laughing to the bank. But yeah, if you have Salah, he's still another one. Bamford, Antonio, these are all the names that I've been talking about all week. And maybe a differential like Ferran Torres could really pull it off for you. But Mane triple captain could be a fantastic differential for you. Iheanacho or Holding? I'd start Iheanacho personally. Rafinha plus Antonio or Torres plus Bamford? Very good question. I would probably prefer Rafinha and Antonio, but Torres and Bamford looks very good too. Robertson or Pulisic or Werner? I would rather have Robertson. Salah and Robertson in for Digne and Fernandes -4, or keep Digne and take out DCL for Antonio? Good question. I'd probably go for Salah and Robertson in for Digne and Fernandes. Rudiger or Soufal, whom to bench? I would probably bench Rudiger, but there's not much in that. If you already have Mendy, it's completely fine. You already covered the Chelsea clean sheet, but yeah, I'd probably go for Soufal, only just though. Wood, Torres or Bamford? 40 ahead in the mini league, 25k in the world. Very good rank. Sinot, hopefully you get the rank you want. As for those three options you mentioned, I still prefer Bamford. I know it's boring. I know he's the most highly owned, but I think he is just highly poised. And I also look at West Brom. I always talk about expected goals conceded. They are top in the last 6 game weeks with 12.8, and they've also conceded the most goals of any team, so they are pretty much matching what the expected goals conceded is saying, with 14 goals conceded in the last 6. The next closest, well, are 3 teams, Burnley, Aston Villa and Palace, with 12. So West Brom have been extremely poor recently. They're conceding 2 to 3 goals on average, basically per game in the last 6 game weeks. So yeah, I'd go for Bamford. I need to bring one extra Leeds player, Willock, Rafinha or Dunk Alioski. I mean, getting rid of Willock, I mean, that's a bit... I really like Rafinha, but I wouldn't get rid of Willock in that case. So probably Dunk to Alioski. But otherwise, if it was just a simple case of who would you rather have, Rafinha or Alioski, it would be Rafinha. Start 1, Zaha, Holding, Vidra. I would start Holding. Will Forster start? I think he will, because I was talking about this, from 3-4 weeks ago when Hassan Hutel talked about it in his press conference. McCarthy will start 2, then Forster will start 2. McCarthy just started the last 2 games, so unless Hassan Hutel just plays McCarthy for a 3rd time in a row, it should be Forster starting in game week 38. Do you think Wan-Bissaka will start? Tough one. It might be Brandon Williams, but if there is one defender from Manchester United who is probably the most likely to start from the kind of normal contingent, then I'd probably say it's Wan-Bissaka. So he's more likely to start than any other from the main ones, but yeah, it could be a case of Brandon Williams starting. I'm thinking Meslier to Casilla and Santomane -4. What do you think? I mean, I've already made my feelings clear about a -4 involving a keeper, but in your case, you're getting rid of someone who's not going to play for someone who is actually one of the favourites to keep a clean sheet this week. So, you know what? I'd probably go for it. Son, getting rid of him for a hit doesn't sit right with me, but I think it could pay off overall. Yeah, Das, I already answered your question about Jota. Like I said before, Klopp was talking about there being a very small chance of him being fit, but he said this before the press conference the other day, so this was after the last game that they had against Burnley. It was, so yeah, I wouldn't go for Jota. I'd rather have Mane or Salah. So don't ask the same question again, because I'll have to put you on timeout. So do I take out Fernandes out for a differential such as Alba? I probably would, yeah, but I'd wait. I'd still wait, give it another hour or so. Hopefully there's a bit more news. But Aubameyang, Mane, very good differentials around the same price. And if not, Harrison, Rafinha, Willock, all very good. Harrison or Bamford? Definitely Bamford for me. Yeah, sorry, I already answered your question about Rudiger or Soufal, and there's no need to spam the chat. As I said before, if I don't answer your question within a certain amount of time, maybe 5-10 minutes, then pose the question just one more time. But just spamming the same question again and again, there's just no point. So, yeah. Harrison, Lingard, Son, which one to bench? I wouldn't bench any of them. That's the thing. Jesus. Probably Harrison or Son. Probably Son, but I wouldn't bench him. Yeah, Ben Pivetta already answered about Wan-Bissaka. I think he could start, but I wouldn't take a risk getting him in. Don't spam the chat, please. Would you take out Wan-Bissaka from -4, but which defender to replace? Risky, very risky territory because he could start. But if you were to get rid of him for a hit as well, I'd be looking at Dallas, Soufal, Tierney, potentially Trent Alexander-Arnold, Robertson, even Phillips. Those are the kind of defenders I'd consider taking a hit for. Maybe a Rudiger or a Chilwell, but I think that's kind of entering the more risky territory. Fernandes to Mane or Reguilon to Robertson for a hit. I already got Salah and Trent. I'd probably go from Fernandes to Mane. I think there's higher upside there in terms of Mane's more capable of getting a double-digit return. He could be a good captaincy shout as well. I think that's worth it, Robin. My keepers are Meslier and De Gea. Should I do a goalkeeper transfer and take a hit for Bruno? Yeah, I probably would in that case, yeah. But wait, in terms of Bruno, I'd wait because if there is a kind of news of him starting, then I don't think it's worth taking him out for a hit. Bruno to Alba, massive differential. What do you think? As I said before, Nathan, I think it's a good differential on paper, but if you don't have triple Liverpool already, I would prefer Mane. But Alba's a good choice this week, and maybe even Pepe, to be fair. No problem, Ben Taylor. Really appreciate it. Would you consider Pepe as a differential? I am 10 points outside the 100k. Yeah, as I said before to Nathan when he was talking about Aubameyang, I think Pepe is a very good differential on paper. He's been so good. The problem is he going to play? Because Arteta just loves to bench him after he has a great performance. And then he complains about the inconsistency of Pepe, which, to be fair, he has a point. But it's risky. But I think if you really want someone like that, a differential, I think Pepe could be very good this week. Hi there, Dylan. Is Kane a good captain and Antonio or Trent Vice? Don't have Salah. Kane is a good captaincy option this week, but if you have someone like Bamford, I'd rather go for him or someone like Mane. But Antonio, Trent Vice, they're good options as well. Not having Salah could be very costly in a way, Eddie. But I do like Kane captain. But I'd rather have, for example, Mane, Bamford, Salah himself. But he's a good option this week. Bench Son or Willock. I'd probably bench Willock, but there's not much in that. And to be honest, I wouldn't want to bench Willock on his current form. Son out for Mane for a -4. Iheanacho to Antonio already done. I probably would, but only if you're going to captain Mane. Otherwise, I'd probably just keep Son because he's got the ability to do something against Leicester. Hey, how are you doing, mate? Please choose between Rafinha and Harrison. Definitely Rafinha. I haven't changed my mind about that. And thank you, Bandit. Hopefully you're doing well as well. I nearly called you Rafinha. Will Rashford and Greenwood be rotated? I think they will. At least one of them will. And the way it's looking, I think it could be both. But, let's wait and see if there's any kind of concrete news. I don't want to just quote unreliable sources. Start. Johnston, Trent, Dallas, Shaw, Foden, Salah, Lingard, Rafinha, Kane, Nacho, Werner, Martinez, Rudiger, Zaha, Konsa, says Lipuk. In terms of your goalkeepers, I would start Martinez. And in terms of your defence, Trent, Dallas, is no-brainer. I'd start Shaw, but I don't think he's going to start. No, sorry. You have Rudiger. My bad. I apologise for that. Rudiger. Start Rudiger over Shaw. Midfield, definitely Salah, Lingard, Rafinha, Kane. Start all of them. Nacho. Yeah. So pretty much put Rudiger in for Shaw and Martinez in for Johnston, and the rest is the same. Captain Salah or Aguero? I'd captain Salah. I know Aguero's a bit for the romantics, the kind of FPL veterans, but I'd still go for Salah. That's my personal opinion on it. Shakia says my team: Alexander, Arnold, Alioski, Wan-Bissaka, Rafinha, Greenwood, Son, Salah, Mahrez, Bamford, Iheanacho. Is it okay? -4 taken. It's more than okay, mate. It's very good. Greenwood is a potential risk, and same with Wan-Bissaka. However, Greenwood's the one who's probably quite likely to not start, but the rest looks very good. How comes you're not getting Bamford? Well, the problem with me getting Bamford is that, for example, if I take a -4 and I get Vidra out and then obviously Bamford in, and then potentially I don't know, go from Digne to Tierney or something like that. The kind of problem I have there is that I have to bench one of Bruno or Greenwood, and they're not even likely to start anyway. And then that could even mean that an Everton defender comes in the end, like Keane or Digne, whoever I don't, get rid of. So the problem with Bamford really is just my team structure and the fact that Bruno and Greenwood are unlikely to start. And same with Shaw. So I want someone to replace Shaw in my starting lineup. And obviously Mane differential, that's very interesting to me. But yeah, of course, if I could, I would definitely have Bamford this week. And it's just unfortunate. I only have a 3-5-2 kind of structure because of the Manchester United triple game week they had in 35. And it obviously worked wonders for me with Greenwood and Bruno doing extremely well. But in the end, yeah, I'd want to have Antonio and Bamford for the next few. I'll try to stay updated with any leaks I get and post them on here as we get closer to the last deadline of the season. Thank you, Dylan. Really appreciate it. And same with anyone. I encourage anyone who is watching, who sees anything that they believe to be reliable to post it here. So I really appreciate it. Are you going to have a nice amount of beers this evening? Maybe, especially if Arsenal win. But, I mean, what am I going to celebrate? Getting into the Conference League? I don't know. But maybe just to end the season, just celebrate and have a bit of fun. But yeah, maybe I'll have a few beers. Why not? Some Heineken. I've got some in the fridge. Or freezer, should I say. Ismail says, triple captain Salah, Rafinha, Robertson, Antonio. Person above has triple captaincy left as well, so I'm not sure about Salah. I mean, Salah would be my ideal one, but if you're chasing, I think out of those others, I think Rafinha's very good. But with Rafinha, you're either going to get an insane amount of points, or it's just very disappointing and underperformance. But yeah, if you had Mane, for example, I would encourage you to triple captain him and close that gap. Will Mahrez start? I think he will, but I'm just not sure if he will. So I think he will, but just couldn't tell you that for 100%. Just Pep Guardiola is impossible to kind of second guess. Dylan, I thought Shaw and Bruno not starting. Thanks for the great content all season. Good luck today. Respect from Ireland. Thank you, Cyril. And yeah, I don't think they're going to start, but I'm just waiting for kind of more news, and then I'm going to make my transfers because I don't want to just go into it blindfolded. And I could just see a scenario where I get rid of Bruno for Mane, and then, Bruno's going to start. But I don't know. I'm just trying to minimize the risk in a way, let's say. Start Mahrez or Greenwood. I feel like Mahrez has a bigger chance of either 0 or 90 minutes, so could get Greenwood from the bench. Yeah, I'd start Mahrez, definitely. Good shout. DCL to Firmino. Sound legit? It is legit, but if you don't have Bamford or Antonio, I would rather have them over Firmino. But otherwise, he's a good option, a good differential. Tierney in for sure for a -4, says Sanchez. Yeah, I mean, this is something I could do myself and also get either Bamford potentially for Vidra or Mane in for Bruno. But yeah, I think it's one of the better kind of defender hits shouts this week, should we say. Is it worth getting in Mahrez for Lingard for a -4? Not for me, Tony. I think Lingard could do very well this week, so I wouldn't get rid of him, especially for a -4. Endrent says, I'm 3 points ahead in the mini league. Do I go Maguire to Walker, Tierney, or Maguire plus Rashford to Holding Mane for a -4? Yeah, I'd probably do Maguire to Tierney. Yeah, I'd probably do that. But Rashford could not... You know what? I'd take the -4. Yeah, I'd take the -4, but you are 3 points ahead. I mean, that obviously puts you 1 point behind, but I think it's worth it, especially if you're captaining Mane. Mane or Bamford can only have one. I'd rather have Bamford, probably, in a way. Would you play Holding or transfer, says Haida. I'd probably just play him. Unless, you have a free transfer and you can get Dallas or Soufal or someone really good like that, or Robertson, Trent. But otherwise, you could just start Holding. Teams leaked. Mark Goldbridge tweeted it out. Let's have a look. Thank you for that. Hopefully, you got something there. It might be the one that I quoted earlier. Let's see. So, Mark Goldbridge says, so that's pretty much what's been said. So, today's Man United lineup: Henderson, Williams, Bailly, Jones, Telles, Matic, Donny van der Beek, Amad Diallo, Mata, Greenwood, and Elanga. Hopefully I pronounced that one right. Yeah, and this is pretty much what's been said all the time. Oh yeah, you know what? I secretly hope United lose because they are so close to matching the away record for pretty much the most games unbeaten, which is held by Arsenal in the 2003-04 season, I believe. So yeah. I mean, that's a team that could easily be beaten by Wolves, but Wolves are pretty poor. Greenwood starting is good news, but yeah, no Bruno, no Shaw. That makes me very, very bullish about my kind of transfers. So let's kind of play around with this for a bit, and then I'll get back to your questions. Apologies if I haven't answered some questions, and if I haven't over a 5-10 minutes, then just repeat it again just once. Don't spam the chat or anything like that, because otherwise you'll be put on timeout and your question won't be answered. So yeah, so let's look at this. Mane would be coming in. I'd have 5.9 million remaining. I mean, you know what? Let me know, guys. What do you think? For 5.9 million, would you go for a Creswell? Would you go for a Chilwell? I mean, I don't think I could afford him actually, but I don't know. Maybe a Chelsea defender? Yeah, I could afford Chilwell actually. I don't know. Someone else. Maybe Soufal. Yeah, just let me know. Tierney. I think Tierney is actually quite an interesting one, but Brighton, no striker. But then again, they can still score. They've got a decent team. They just sometimes their finishing is very poor, but yeah, I mean Arsenal are capable of just doing very well. Tierney could get double digits, or he could just disappoint. Start Greenwood or Lingard, says Akram. I would start Lingard, but Greenwood is starting, so that is an interesting one. It seems like anyway. DCL to Antonio or Holding to Robertson, or both for a -4. I would probably take both in that case, John. 47 lead in the mini league. Thinking of bringing a Mane for Bruno for a -4. Is it fine? I think it's fine, yeah, especially if you're captaining Mane. And yeah, your lead is fine. If that's what you're aiming for, just to finish top, I mean, unless they do some madness, you should be winning that. David says, -4 for Bruno, DCL to Mane, Antonio, or just Bruno to Rafinha for free. I have Kane and Vidra and Salah captain. Money dictates keeping Vidra. Fair enough. I would probably take a -4 and get rid of Bruno and DCL and get Mane and Antonio in. I think it's worth the hit, personally. But if you're not really that confident, then just do the free transfer. Yeah, Sam Burke. Henderson, Williams, Bailly. Yeah, that's the exact lineup. I already have. Thank you for that, by the way. Really appreciate everyone who's been updating the chat and letting others know, not just me, about the kind of latest news. So really appreciate it. I already have Bamford and Antonio in my team. Should I do DCL to Werner? Already got triple Liverpool. I'll be honest. I like these differentials, but Werner and Chelsea attack. I've said it before. I'm not that confident. So personally, I wouldn't go there. So you already have Bamford and Antonio. So you got two of the best options. I'd rather have someone like Chris Wood than Werner. I'll be honest, or maybe even Firmino. But you've already got triple Liverpool, as you already discussed. Anthony says pick two: Digne, Target, Vestergaard, Holding. Personally, I would go for Holding and... Let me check. Apologies. Oh, yeah, Southampton play West Ham. I'd definitely start Holding. And as for the others, that's very tough. Very, very tough. Maybe Target, and if not, Vestergaard. Do you think Torres starts for City? Says Scott O'Brien. O'Brien? Okay, I probably butchered that. Sorry about that. I think Torres will start, but I did say this last week, and, well, he did, but... He then got subbed off against Brighton. And that's kind of a good thing, actually, that he got subbed off early. That means that he could play here. Bacon says, good mate. Good job, mate. Good mate. And wonderful. You're an Arsenal fan too. We were shit this season. Yeah, I mean, we've been shit for the last few years, but at least we sometimes have a trophy or something to kind of paper over the cracks. But I don't know. I don't know. I have a feeling that there could be big improvements going into the next few years, but there's no excuses now for Arteta, really. He's saying that some of the problems that have kind of lingered around this season, they're not going to be here next season. And if the board, actually back up their talk, which I don't trust them, by the way, but if they do, then maybe there could be some good years to come. But it's going to take a lot of good transfers, a lot of good kind of just hiring the right people to get back to where Arsenal should be. But yeah, what an awful season. But at least FPL has gone all right. And we're all here enjoying it. Are you taking a -4, says SC? Yeah, if I do those two transfers and I get, for example, Mane and a defender like Tierney or Soufal or whatever, then it would be a -4. So long as it's two transfers, yeah, I'd be taking a hit. Chilwell or Tierney? Yeah, I'd rather have Tierney. Just like Jefferson and Jared says. Yeah, okay, you're showing a lot of love for Tierney there. I already have Bamford and Antonio in my team. Yeah, I already answered that question, Federico. It's repeating some of the same questions. I don't even think you repeated it, so apologies for that. Wood or Antonio for Iheanacho? To be honest, I wouldn't get rid of Iheanacho. I think he could score a goal or two. So if you kept him this long, I would probably keep him. But if you are set on getting rid of him, I'd probably get Antonio. Fernandes or Benrahma? I mean, Bruno is probably not starting, so I'd go for Benrahma. Martinez, Trent, Dallas, Tierney, Salah, Captain, Mane, Lingard, Rafinha, Kane, Antonio, Bamford. Very good team, Akram. I'm trying to find some kind of faults there. Looks very, very solid. Obviously, Martinez at home to Chelsea, not ideal, but he could still get some save points or something, so it's very good. Since Bruno's rumoured to not start, should I do Bruno to Mane for a -4, says Parag? You know what? I'd probably say yeah. I'd say, especially if you're going to captain Mane, but yeah, I think that's a good transfer. Fernandes to Sterling. Very risky territory we're entering here, but Sterling has the capability of being explosive. However, I've been burnt by him earlier this season. I got him in for 1 week. He did awful against Leeds. Should have done, at least scored 2 or 3. I personally wouldn't go there, but it's still a good option. J Ham says, I am leading in my league and my head-to-head. Do I start Rudiger or double up in Liverpool defenders? Opponent in head-to-head still has triple captain. Okay, good luck, J Ham. Hopefully you achieve top place in both leagues. Rudiger or double up in Liverpool defenders? It depends what the double up in Liverpool defence is. So if it's Robertson and Trent, I would do that. But otherwise, maybe just have one of each. So one Liverpool defender and Rudiger. I am 37 points clear, leading my mini-league, says Anas. Is it safe for a -8 hit? Bruno, Shaw, DCL to Rafinha, Dallas, Bamford. Good question. I tried to skim it down to a -4, but you should be fine. In terms of if you're just looking to win your league, you should be fine even with the -8. And the transfers are good. They're all upgrades this week. So if you're set on it, go for it. But my advice would be try to kind of avoid it in terms of, not avoid it, should try to cut down on it from a -8 to a -4. Kane or Salah as captain? Salah for me, Ryan, definitely. Yeah, Akram, I already talked about your team, so hopefully you got that. Tierney versus Cresswell versus Soufal. I have just a good feeling about Tierney this week, but Soufal's probably maybe the safest option in terms of price and all that. Well, I mean, price doesn't matter at this point, should I say, but all good options. I'd probably look to Tierney, actually, but I might change my mind. I might go for Soufal myself. I'll let you know what I do in the end. Diallo could be a good punt, just saying. Yeah, he could be, to be fair, but yeah, I just have a good feeling about Mane this week, and I just want to get him in, if I'm just being honest about that. Need help. Who should I play? Rudiger or Soufal? I'd go for Soufal, just about. Captain Harrison? I wouldn't go there, Nigel, but he's a good differential, and he could do very well for you, but I wouldn't go there. Should I switch Bamford in for Watkins? I have Kane and Antonio. Yeah, I'd get Bamford in for Watkins. I think that's a great transfer, Vicky. Do I play Holding, Wood or Rafinha? Or transfer in someone else? Oh, I'd definitely start Rafinha, definitely. Will Dubravka play? He was a bit of an injury doubt, but I think Steve Bruce kind of played down the rumours, or should I say the concerns, so I think he will play. Start Rafinha or Iheanacho? Rafinha. But Iheanacho's a good option. I think he can score this week. Best midfielders except Leeds players. This week, Lingard, Mane, Salah, Willock. I think those are kind of the main ones. And Ferran Torres. I have a good feeling about him if he starts. Antonio or Firmino? Antonio. Tierney or Soufal? Tierney, but I'm not that sure about that one. But Antonio or Firmino, I definitely prefer Antonio. I've seen the leaked news from MEN. I think, yeah, Manchester Evening News, you're saying, Marco. And I do kind of believe them. Good starts, but it's a dead team behind them. Agreement starts. I don't know why I said they're good. This is really hard. Who would you choose if you take a hit? Willock, Torres, Pulisic, Pepe? I think if Pepe starts, I have a great feeling about him, but kind of just thinking about it realistically, probably Torres. Torres or Willock. Triple captaining Dallas, wish me luck. Well, good luck. I mean, I have him as well, so it benefits me too. So a bit selfish there, but all the best of luck to you with that one, and hopefully it pays off. Kushal says DCL and Zaha out for Willock and Antonio or Wood. Yeah, Antonio and Willock, yeah, I'd take that hit. Henderson or Edison? I'd go for Edison. I don't know if United are going to keep a clean sheet there. Have one free transfer, Santa Mane, Saka to 7.4 million midfielder, or Keane to Robertson? Oof, it depends. If you are not going to be having any of your Everton defenders coming in, like Keane, then I just do Santa Mane. Yeah, Nigel, I already talked about Harrison. I think it's a decent differential, but I wouldn't go there. Don't repeat the question, please. Need help. Which should I play? Rudiger or Soufal? As I said before, Soufal. Start Pulisic or J-Lings? I'd start J-Lings. Start Mahrez or Iheanacho? I would start... That's tough. You know what? I'd actually start Iheanacho, but that's very tough. Yeah, Carlo, as I said before, Dubravka should play, but not completely sure about that. Do I play Antonio or Lingard? I'd start both, personally. But if you had to pick, probably Antonio. But I don't know, that could be risky. Salah, Bamford or Kane for captain this week? I'd go for Salah, but if you're looking for a differential, Bamford. Bench Son or Rashford? I'd bench Rashford. Rudiger, Holding and Bowen, bench order suggestion. Rudiger first, Bowen second, Holding third. But that could, they're all good options, to be honest. Yeah, thank you, Asaraf, for the leaked lineup. For Liverpool, yeah. Alisson, Milner, Phillips, Williams, Robertson. Where's Trent? That's my first question, but yeah, you think it's not reliable. Let me know what you think the source is. But yeah, that no Trent kind of caught me off guard there, but you never know. I hope that's not true. Fabinho, Gini, Wijnaldum, Thiago, Salah, Firmino, Jota. Well, we'll wait and see there. I mean, there's going to be a lot of fake rumours flying around today, but I think the Manchester United one that came out from the Manchester Evening News, the one that Mark Goldbridge kind of tweeted out, I think that's reliable. Should I switch Bamford in for Watkins? Yeah, I would do that, Vicky, as I said before. Wood or Antonio? Antonio. Is Mane a good captaincy option? I've said this before. He is definitely good captaincy option, no doubt about it. I'm personally going for Salah, but I think Mane is a great one, and he could outscore him. Help me. I have bench Kane for Pulisic, hoping Pulisic will get 15-point haul. I mean, what help do you want there? I mean, it's up to you there, but I wouldn't bench Kane. I think that's too risky, and I think Kane will score, personally. Jack Harrison or Torres? Or I can do Bruno to Mane. I'd do Bruno to Mane. Torres or KDB for Fernandes? I'd go for Torres. KDB is still kind of nursing an injury, so I'd go for Torres. DCL and Zaha out for Willock and Antonio Wood. Yeah, I already said this before, Kushal. Please don't spam the chat or repeat the same question just a few minutes after you posed it. I already said, yeah, I'd go for it. DCL's my dark horse. I think DCL could nick a goal, but I wouldn't captain him. That's my kind of question on that. DCL replacement for benching. I wouldn't take a hit, for example, to get rid of DCL just for someone who's going to sit on your bench. But in terms of DCL replacements this week, Antonio, Bamford, Wood, those sorts of players. Even Iheanacho, actually. I know the fixture is very difficult on paper, but I think he can score. Chris Wood for DCL. Yep, very good transfer there, Rainbringer. Is it worth transferring out Iheanacho for Antonio for a -4? Not for me, because I think Iheanacho can score. Yeah, Kushal, no need to spam the chat. Sorry if I missed this. Is Fabianski available? I think he's going to be assessed ahead of the game. So we'll wait and see with that one, Ahmed. Yeah, Kurt. Yeah, it's crazy. A lot of viewers today. Appreciate everyone who is here. And just keep on the questions and I'll try to get through them. And as I said before, if I miss one of your questions, after 10-15 minutes, pose it again. But don't spam the chat. There's no need. Roshni says, I have Martinez, Areola, Phillips, Dallas, Digne, Greenwood, Fernandez, Rafinha, Salah, Lingard, Bamford, Kane, Holding, Iheanacho, Lowton. I have bench boost. Who do I bring in and out? Oh, bench boost as well, don't you? Interesting. How many transfers do you have? Areola's got a good transfer, good fixture this week. Martinez could still do well. Yeah, I'd probably look to get rid of Digne. He's the kind of weak link there. So I'd look to get rid of him for maybe someone like Soufal or Tierney, something like that. So yeah, I'd get rid of Digne and I'd get one of those players I said. Trent and Phillips double or start Rudiger instead of Phillips? I would start Rudiger instead of Phillips. But you know what? Maybe Liverpool could keep a clean sheet this week. So it depends on how confident you are in that clean sheet for Liverpool. But I would go for Rudiger. Start Son or Iheanacho? I would start Iheanacho. Should I bring in Antonio for DCL or Rafinha in for St. Maximan? Probably Antonio for DCL, but not too confident in St. Maximan either. Meslier is not playing. Replacements? Casilla. I think a like for like replacement. Yeah, probably Casilla. Should I bring in Antonio for DCL or Rafinha? Oh yeah, I already said that. My bad. That's me repeating it now. I guess I missed. Chasing 27 points for top spot in mini league. Should I go for Jota and Son out for Mane capped and Carvalho or any other midfielder around 6.3? Who's Carvalho? Yeah, I'd get Mane and captain him for sure. Not too sure about the other one. I'm maybe bugging there with the Carvalho thing. Get Tierney, mate. Join me. Maybe. It's just with Arsenal, I just don't trust them enough. That's the problem. And yeah, still 190 people here. Really appreciate it. And I'm just going to say this one last time, and I'm not saying it again for the rest of the season, at least the FPL season. If you haven't already, smash the like button and subscribe if you're new around here. I'm not even going to play the graphic again. But as I always say, follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Dylan_RCM. You can also post questions on there as well, days before the deadline, so you can get through your kind of concerns and stuff early. And you can also just talk about football in general. And you can send me screenshots of your team. My DMs are open, and yeah, you can even send public messages. So really appreciate everyone who is here and all the support throughout the whole season. And let's get back to it. I'm still going to be finalising my transfers. We obviously still have 40 minutes left, 41 minutes left. So let's wait and see what happens there. In terms of my team, Salah's going to be my captain. And if I do bring Mane in, he'd probably be my vice. Might even be tempted by a captaincy there. But yeah, the bench kind of speaks for itself. Not much more is going to change there. Greenwood's going to start apparently. I think he could do very well. But Shaw and Bruno, they've been concerns for me all week. And it looks like I'm going to be getting rid of them. Or at least getting rid of a defender to then bench Shaw. But we'll wait and see there. Is Strauch starting? I think he will because of the injury to Diego Llorente. Bruno and Davis out for Antonio and Pulisic for a -4. I like that, Stefan. Not too sure about Pulisic, but yeah, I'd definitely get Antonio in, and it's worth a hit regardless. Do I play Holding, Vidra or Rafinha? Rafinha, Jamie. -4 hit. Walker Peters for Creswell. Oof, tough. But you know what? I'd probably go for something like that. If not Creswell, Soufal, Tierney. Those are the kind of options I'd be looking at around that price. How about Alioski for Digne? I have the money to go Dallas, but opted for Alioski. I'd rather have Dallas, to be honest. What's an upgrade on Digne? If I transfer, I'll have to take a -4 hit, or should I play Digne? Your midfield and attack are the same as mine. In terms of an upgrade on Digne, well, I mean, he plays Manchester City, so is he going to keep a clean sheet? I don't think so. Will he get an assist? He could, maybe. He did it last time against City when Richarlison got that fluky goal at Goodison Park. But I'll be honest, I look at it and in terms of replacements for Digne, Tierney, Soufal, Creswell, those would be the main ones. Maybe a Chilwell, but I think the first three are the ones I'd be looking at. And if you don't have a Liverpool defender already, Trent or Robertson, I think they're great options too. So yeah, those five: Soufal, Creswell, Tierney, Robertson, Trent. They're all upgrades on Digne this week, I think. Thinking of captaining Lingard if he is on penalties. Is this a bad choice? Well, in his last interview, Antonio said that he should be on penalties now after Declan Rice missed, and I think he actually set a record for the quickest penalty in history being missed. But yeah, I don't think Lingard's going to be on penalties. Mini league differentials, chasing 14 points. Rashford to Alba or DCL to Firmino, or both, and Digne to Tierney -8. By the way, big gunner here, so smashing the subscriber and all that. I see ya. Thank you, Boris. Really appreciate it, and good to see another Arsenal fan in here. There's a lot actually around. In terms of mini league differentials, I really like Rashford to Alba. I like that one, but DCL to Firmino also good. I wouldn't take a -8 for all those transfers you said though. I'd just stick to one of them. But then again, Digne to can't even speak now, to Tierney, I really like that too. Rashford to Alba, that could be a good one. In terms of the most upside, I think it's the Aubameyang one, but Digne to Tierney is probably the safest. Would you bring Lingard in for Greenwood or bring in Iheanacho for Watkins? Bring in Iheanacho for Watkins. What will be your final transfers? As I said before, I'm just waiting, but most likely it'll be Mane in for Bruno and probably Tierney or Soufal in for Shaw. Might even go for Creswell. But yeah, I'm just going to think about that. Let's actually look at Creswell recently. He did get an assist in his last game, didn't he? Yeah, but a lot of blanks recently. He obviously did get that injury. I'm actually going to be looking now at expected goal involvements in the last 6 game weeks for defenders. So Soufal and Creswell actually make the top 6. Only Ajayi, Shaw, Dallas and Arnold are above them. But Soufal is, well, in terms of, they're actually identical. They've both got 1.15 expected goal involvements. Creswell has the higher expected assists, but Soufal has the higher XG. So very interesting there. Very, very interesting. And when you look at the whole season at home, Creswell tends to do better there, but Soufal does better away from home, I think. That's how it kind of pans out. And obviously, West Ham do play Southampton at home this week, so very interesting. So yeah, I'm not really set on my defender transfer. That's why it's not filled in at the moment. But it's between Creswell, I think, Soufal and Tierney for a -4. I don't want Digne or Keane coming in because Shaw is not going to start. Casilla or Martinez? I'd start Casilla. One free transfer, Mane or Iheanacho? Thanks and good luck. I'd go for Mane in that case. Gamewood. Greenwood or Son? I would go for Greenwood probably, but not much in that. Gundogan to Willock, Bruno to Rafinha, and which are the best goalkeeper options? I think best goalkeeper options are Casilla, Alisson, and Dubravka maybe. Dubravka. Triple captaincy question. Any game-changing players you could name who might haul today, like Torres hat-trick last time out? Okay, so just like I did earlier this week, I'm just going to go through the fixtures and talk about the kind of best ones. I'm not going to try to put too many names because you obviously want to narrow it down rather than expand the kind of conversation. But in the Arsenal-Brighton game, the only ones I consider for triple captaincy as a differential especially are Pepe and Aubameyang. But personally, I wouldn't go there. Villa or Chelsea, I wouldn't go there either. Fulham, Newcastle, I probably would consider someone like Willock, but triple captaincy is a different scenario. From Leeds, I think Bamford, Rafinha, Dallas. I think one of those three, very good. And if I had to pick one, it'd be Bamford. From Leicester, Spurs, I wouldn't go there for triple captaincy, but if you had to, then Kane or Iheanacho. Liverpool, Palace, Salah, Mane. Obviously, Salah's not a differential, by the way, I'm just saying. But Mane would be a great one, or Trent or Robertson. Those are the kind of names I'd be looking at there. Man City, Everton, maybe someone like Torres or Mahrez, someone like that, but I wouldn't go there. Burnley, Sheffield, probably Chris Wood. West Ham, Southampton, probably Lingard and Antonio. And Wolves, Man United, Greenwood. But from all those that I mentioned in terms of differentials, I think Mane, Bamford, Rafinha, Dallas, and someone like Pepe or Aubameyang, or maybe a Ferran Torres. Those are the kind of main triple captaincy ones I'd be looking at. To be honest, if I still had it, I'd be playing it on one of them if I'm looking to kind of gain rank. Should I transfer out Bruno for a hit? Who for? Probably Mane if you don't have him already. That would definitely be someone I'd suggest. And if not, I'd look at Rafinha or a Leeds midfielder. Hold or sell Bale. I also have bench boost chip available to use. Do I need to get a keeper for bench boost? Need to sell Jota and Shaw. Best replacements. I've got 2 free transfers. You don't need to take a hit for the keeper, especially if you already have one playing. Hold or sell Bale. I would sell him personally, but yeah. I mean, he just hasn't done well enough against the top sides, and away from home he hasn't scored. All of his 9 goals, I think, have come at home. And selling Jota and Shaw, yeah. So in terms of selling Jota, it'd be Lingard, Rafinha, Harrison, even Greenwood potentially, because apparently he is going to start. Salah, Mane, if you can stretch to them, or Ferran Torres. So I'd look at one of those to replace Jota. And as for Shaw, Soufal, Tierney, and Creswell. Dallas, if you don't have them already, for sure. But yeah, those are the ones I'd be looking at. If I bring in Mane for Bruno, I'll have to bench Greenwood. Yeah, that's kind of one of the dilemmas I have myself with my team, but I would be looking at, I'd still do it. Yeah. Should I transfer out Bruno for a hit? Who for? Yeah, for Mane, I'd say, or Rafinha. And start Vidra. I would probably try to avoid that, but Vidra could do well. Carvalho from Fulham. Okay, fair enough. Midfielder playing as a forward. Any other midfielders? Yeah, I wouldn't go for him myself. I know Newcastle have a very poor defence, and if you have a feeling about him, go for it. You're chasing 27 points. My team: Areola, Trent, Soufal, Dallas, Salah, Mane, Captain, Lingard, Iheanacho, Bamford, Kane. Suggest one midfielder. 6.3 million in the bank. Yeah, I mean, it might sound a bit boring, but I'd probably go for Rafinha. Rafinha or Harrison, and Rafinha would be my pick there. In my draft team, I have Jesus, Foden, and Diaz. Bench all of them or play Foden and Jesus? I'd start Diaz probably, and I'd start Foden. Triple captain Bamford or Salah? I'd go for Salah, but if you're chasing, I think Bamford's a good one. I need to start 2 out of Bamford, Son, Foden, and Soufal, but considering Shaw might not start, I might start Soufal, but 2 out of the other 2 have 1 transfer, but no Manu coverage. Yeah, in terms of starting 2 of them, I'd start Bamford and Soufal. Yeah, I'd do that. I'm thinking of doing Son, Mane, and Kane to Antonio. I just don't think Kane is going to do much against Leicester, but Antonio will against Southampton. Need to get 26 points to get into the top 10k. Fair enough, yeah. It's risky though. I think Kane's going to do something. That's what I think. Will he get an explosive haul? Maybe not, but I think he's going to do well. So fair enough. Do I play Holding, Vidra, or Rafinha? I said this before, Jamie. There's no need to repeat the question. I said Rafinha. Bench Willock or Lingard? Soufal playing? I would bench Willock. Nat Phillips or Soufal for a defender? I would start Soufal. Hey Dylan, Taylor and Antonio for Coleman and Vidra worth it? Currently leading my mini league by 15 points. Taylor, yeah, I think it's worth it. Yeah. Is Rodrigo good? I wouldn't go there personally. For Leeds United, I would rather have Rafinha and I nearly said Antonio, Bamford and Dallas and Harrison even. I wouldn't go with Rodrigo. Who to start? Rudiger or Holding? I'd go for Rudiger still. Got 2 free transfers to replace Bruno to Rafinha and Watkins to Kane for a -4 hit. Who should I replace Shaw with? Chilwell or Robertson? Definitely Robertson for me. Son to Mane and Greenwood to Harrison. Willock for a differential captain for a -4, or Son to Mane and Watkins to a 4.5. He would be on the bench anyway for a -4. I wouldn't get rid of Greenwood in that case, so I'd do Son to Mane if you can afford it just by that. I already have Soufal, Phillips, Dallas, and Holding. So who's the best replacements for sure? I have Meslier in goal. That is why I am on about a hit for a keeper. To be able to get Jota to Rafinha. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, Jota to Rafinha. Probably Casilla to get a Meslier like for replacement. And best replacement for sure. You already have Soufal, Phillips, Dallas. I'd probably look for Tierney then. Yeah. But then again, you already have Holding, so you could just start him. Should I start Diaz or Son? I'd start Son. Play Dawson or Holding? I would start Dawson. No problem, so on. Jay says Foden or Strauch? I'd start Foden. Looking for a late push into the top 50k currently. 69k. I'm thinking of a -4 to bring in a City attacker, a Mane, or just bring in one of Wood or Mane. Which do you think is better? I've won mine in mini league since March. Okay, let me think about that one. City attacker Mane. I mean, the thing with City, there's a lot of upside there potentially, but I wouldn't go there because of the just rotation risk. So I'd definitely get Mane in and probably Wood. But one of Wood or Mane, yeah, I'd go for Mane. Bench one of Reece James, Soufal or Greenwood, I'm guessing, or if that's James. If that's James Rodriguez, I'd bench him. And if it's Reece James, you know what, I'd probably still bench him. Greenwood or Torres for Fernandes, bench Watkins or Calvert-Lewin. I'd probably go for Greenwood and bench Watkins or Calvert-Lewin. I would bench Calvert-Lewin. Should I remove Zaha for Lingard for a -4? Can you recommend someone better? Currently battling relegation with another guy. He has a 10-point lead on me. Yeah, I'd remove Zaha for a Lingard for a -4. In terms of someone better, I mean, if you don't have Rafinha, it's just the same story as all week. I'd be going for Rafinha. Choose one, Rodrigo and Trent or Bamford and Tarkowski. Yeah, I'd go for Bamford and Tarkowski. Bruno to Mane, Phillips to Lowton, DCL to Bamford for a -8. Yeah, I mean, that looks good. I mean, Phillips to Lowton. I wouldn't get rid of Nat Phillips. But then again, I'm guessing you already have triple Liverpool, so that's why you have to do it. But yeah, I think it's worth it. I don't like hits in the final game of the season, especially a -8 or more. But yeah, they look good. Play Soufal or Holding? I'd play Soufal, Asaraf. Would you start DCL or Foden? I already said this, Jay. I'd start Foden. Start Rashford or Iheanacho? I would start Iheanacho. Are you sure about Mane? His form is not so good. That's true. It's not so good, but you know what? I mean, let me actually think about this. I mean, what I have right now is kind of crunch time. So, yeah, I have a problem with Shaw not starting and then Digne or Keane is coming in. So I definitely want to get that defender transfer in, and I'm thinking of Soufal, Creswell, or Tierney. You know what? I'm thinking of maybe Creswell, potentially. But then again, if I want to get Bamford, for example, and I really would want to get Bamford in, could get him in. Obviously, look how much I'm missing there. Yeah, that's kind of the problem. So let's say I've got Bruno, my 0.8. So I could get Soufal. So that would, if I want to get Soufal and Bamford, yeah, that I'm just limited to Soufal. I can't get Tierney or Creswell. So what would I do with this team then? I'd be benching Bruno. So then it would be Soufal, Trent, Dallas starting. It'd be Salah, Lingard, Greenwood, Rafinha, and Bamford, Kane, Antonio. So whoever is watching and whoever obviously has an opinion on this, let me know. Would you rather have Mane in there? And then obviously, yeah, I mean, he'd be coming in for Bruno anyway. And then, yeah, I probably could get Soufal or Tierney. It's a tough one. I mean, I'm just thinking about it now. So basically, it's kind of a question of, would you rather have Bamford or Mane in this week? And if I do get Bamford in, Bruno would be benched, and it looks like he's going to be benched anyway. So let me know what you think of that situation there. And if I do bring Bamford in, I'm limited to Soufal, but he'd be coming in for a -4. And otherwise, what else are we looking at? I mean, to be fair, I mean, I don't have to just do Soufal in for sure. It could be Soufal in for Digne, but it just makes sense because at least Digne does play. But let me know what you think of that situation there, and I'll be going through the rest of your questions. We only have 26 minutes left for the deadline. Let's see, I've just missed a lot of questions here. Mendy or Meslier? Meslier's not going to start, so I'd start Mendy. Who to bench, Wood or Son? I wouldn't bench either of them, but if I had to pick, I'd probably bench Son. Start Willock or Greenwood? I'd start Greenwood. Captain Bamford or Rafinha? I'd captain Bamford. Already have Salah and Trent. Should I go for Robertson as a fourth defender or buy Willock as a fifth midfielder? Interesting. I'd probably go for Robertson as a fourth defender. Bench DCL or Smith Rowe? I'd bench. That's tough. I'd bench DCL. Transfer out Son for Mane? I'd probably do that, Kurt. I already said this before, Mendy. No need to spam the chat. Jesus Christ. Thanks, mate. Should I take out Greenwood for gamble that he starts? If I take him out for who? It looks like he is going to be starting. So, yeah, I don't think you need to gamble. Yeah, I'd probably just keep Greenwood. DCL to Firmino and Castagna to Tierney -4, or Castagna to Tierney, DCL to Vidra bench, Mahrez to Mane -8. I'd stick to the -4. Yeah. Even though I like Mane this week, I'd go for the -4. Is it worth a -4 to transfer out Son to Rafinha? I wouldn't take a -4 to get rid of Son for Rafinha, but if it was a free transfer, I'd go for it. No problem, Puthran. Start Greenwood or Mahrez if both are starting. I'd start Greenwood probably. Is Leno starting? I think he will. Pedro Martins? Oh yeah, he will, because Ryan is ineligible to play Brighton because it's his parent club. So yeah, Leno should start. Need one more suggestion. Who would you play, Martinez or Areola? I'd probably play Areola because of the fixture, but Martinez could do well. Bench 1, Struijk or DCL? I'd bench DCL. Why not Digne out, bench Shaw? I mean, yeah, I could do that too, but I mean, that's what I originally was going to do. But the thing is, at least Digne's going to play, do you know what I mean? And I'd rather have Digne come on just in case anything happens than Keane or Shaw, who's not going to play anyway. But yeah, fair enough, I could do Digne out. And how much money do we have left? 5.6. I wouldn't have enough for Creswell, but I would for Tierney. How much is Tierney now? 5.2. So yeah, I could get rid of Digne for maybe a Tierney or a Soufal. If you bring in Mane, you have to bench one of your front 8 though. Well, yeah, but it'd be Vidra, and I'd be quite comfortable with doing that. But it's a good point, Maelstrom. So no point getting Bamford. Fair enough. I mean, the reason why I really like Mane this week is his record against Palace, and I think he could do well this week. And he's actually, if we look at the last 6 game weeks, I love doing this, don't I? We look at the last 6 game weeks, in terms of expected goal involvements, Mane is 3rd, only behind Bruno Fernandes and Salah. So that's why. We look at forwards, and to be honest, Bamford has been, I wouldn't say lucky, but he's been overperforming a bit. Well, actually, maybe that's not true. He's got 2 goals and his XGI is 2.74, but there's a lot of players above him in terms of XGI. There's Watkins, there's Calvert-Lewin, there's Benteke, Che Adams, Kane, Vardy, Wood, Iheanacho. So yeah, it's pretty much a question of, do I get Bamford or Mane? So yeah, I don't know. I have a feeling about Mane. That's why I'm probably going to go for him. But it's very tough, you know. This is the latest I've left the transfer for a long time. Calvert to Antonio or Bamford? I have Rafinha, Dallas and Lingard. Tough. But yeah, I'd probably go for... You already have Rafinha and Dallas to cover, so I'd go for Antonio. KDB, Mahrez? Yeah, I'd probably prefer Mahrez. Yeah, Asraf, yeah, I've looked at the United lineup before. Thank you for that. Bench Willock, Lingard or Iheanacho? I would bench Willock out of those 3. No problem, Chris Famoso. Who has a better chance for a clean sheet, Lloris or Gaeta? Probably Lloris, but I don't really like either of them, Rainbringer. But yeah, I'd probably go for Lloris. Anna says, -4, Bruno, DCL to Rafinha, Bamford. Should I play Digne target or get Dallas for a -8? I'd probably just stick with a -4. Bamford or Antonio? I mean, if it's just who would you rather have, it's Bamford. But if you already have a lot of Leeds coverage, then just go for Antonio. Take Gundogan or Bruno out. Bring in Rafinha. I'd bring out Bruno because Gundogan could start. Gotcha. Either Mane or Bamford, not both. Yeah. Oh yeah. No. It wouldn't be both. Definitely not. It definitely wouldn't be. What do you think about Liverpool defence against Palace? Because I want to transfer in Alisson from McCarthy. I think he's one of the best goalkeeper options this week, Alisson. So yeah, fair enough. And if you're not looking to double up on the attack or to get someone else in like Robertson or Trent, then yeah, that makes sense. I swear this is my last question. -4 to take out Cody and bring in Tierney. You know what? I'd probably go for that, yeah. But it is very risky. It's going to take a lot for that to be made up. Who do you pick from Chelsea midfielders this game week? I mean, if I was sure Havertz was going to be fit, I'd go for him, but it doesn't look like it's going to be the case. So I'd be looking at Mount or Ziyech, and probably Mount. Actually, you know what? Scrap that. You know what? I think Pulisic, Mount, and Ziyech in that order. So apologies for that. Captain, Mane or Bamford? Probably Mane. Short out for Williams. Only have 4.2 million. Fair enough. Yeah, I'd probably go for that. DCL to Antonio for a -4. Yeah, I'd go for it. Is Bruno 100% rested? I mean, I wouldn't say it's 100%, but the news all around from Manchester Evening News and all this stuff, they're saying that he's going to be benched. Forza Mane, captain, I think it's a great differential, especially if you're looking to chase a certain rank and to really, pounce on this week. I think it's a good option. Hi Dylan, would you transfer out Mahrez for a hit if you had him? I wouldn't transfer him out for a hit, no. Start Lingard or Iheanacho? I'd start Lingard, but I think Iheanacho will score this week, or he has the potential to. I have Salah, Trent, Robertson. Who to captain? I'd captain Salah, but if you're looking for a differential, the other 2 are more than fine, and I'd probably go for Trent. Hey mate, will Gaeta start this game week or will Forster? Forster should start this game week, and Gaeta should too. I would rather start Forster. No problem, J-Ham. Alisson or Edison? Probably Alisson based on the fixture, actually. Is Greenwood starting? Apparently he is, yeah. Bench Mahrez or Greenwood? I'd probably bench Mahrez, but it's a tough one. No problem, Chris. I'm definitely not a hero. Wow, we got 20 minutes left, and I'm literally just. I'm so confused. What do I do in terms of my. Oh my god. Bamford or Mane? Jesus. I mean, I already got Rafinha and Dallas for cover, but then again, I already have Salah and Trent. But yeah, this Bamford Mane thing is really going to be. Because now I'm a bit more inclined to take a hit than I was before. I wasn't, that keen before. 5.6 million. Yeah, so if I do get Bamford in, I'd probably just be getting Tierney or Soufal, and I'd probably look to get Soufal. So yeah, let me know, you guys. Soufal and Bamford in for a -4, or would you just do Mane and maybe Creswell or Tierney or Soufal? And obviously Mane would be coming in for Bruno, and I'd be keeping Vidra, and he'd be on the bench. So let me know what you think of that situation. I'll be honest, I've never been this kind of puzzled about a transfer in a long time, because Bamford and Mane could easily do very well this week. Let's see, have I missed anything? Bruno for -4, for whom? It'd be Mane or Rafinha, as I said before, Sharma. I know the upside could be big, and Greenwood has a team behind him, but only 6 points behind 10k with Mane in. 8, don't think it's worth the risk for a hit personally. Could be a mistake, but think it's too much. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree with that. And Jesus, it's raining with everything. What should I say? It's pouring down in London here. Start Iheanacho or Greenwood? I would start... That's tough, actually. I'd probably start Greenwood, but I think Iheanacho can score. How about Mane and a defender? Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. So let me show you. So yeah, so if I were to get Mane, it'd be for Bruno, and let's say, okay, we keep Vidra, then we'd have what? Yeah, we have quite a lot of money. So let's see. Yeah, we have 6.6 million to get defender if I were to get rid of Digne. So I could literally get most defenders I want apart from Robertson, and that would have been ideal, but obviously I still have triple Liverpool anyway. So yeah, that's kind of pretty much the conundrum. I'd have Mane and I have 6.6 million for a defender. Otherwise, it's Bamford in for Vidra, and I will be able to get Soufal in for Digne. So it's a pretty difficult one. Do you think Foden will start? I think he will, Jay. If Foden doesn't start, do you think he'll be subbed on because of the home game with fans, etc.? Yeah, well, the thing with Foden is he could come on as a sub, so it's very risky, but I think he will start. Couldn't tell you that for sure, though. I have Dawson in a back three, but the only other 2 defenders I have is Aspie or Rudiger from Chelsea. Should I swap Dawson out for one? Interesting. I would probably start Dawson, but yeah, one Chelsea defender, I would start one of them if possible. Transfer Phillips for A. Is Greenwood starting? I think he is, based on the news that's coming out. Is Fabianski okay? I think he will be, but he's being assessed ahead of the game, so there's still a kind of question mark about him. Bring in Trent to replace Diaz and replace Bruno for Son? Yeah, that looks good. I'd probably go for that, Bill. Maybe just get Robertson. I could do that, I could. The problem with that is that I'd have to start Vidra or maybe one of my other defenders like, well, not even Digne, like Keane. I'm not too sure about that because Shaw is most likely going to be rested as well, and obviously Bruno too. So yeah, as much as I'd like to get Robertson as well, I don't want to start Vidra or someone else like that. Play Mahrez or do a -4 for any punt, any best punt. I'd play Mahrez, but if you were to take a hit and get rid of someone else, Ferran Torres, Willock, Rafinha, Harrison, I think they're all good differentials. Mane, if you can stretch to it. Go Mane, says Lucas. Fair enough. I mean, that's what I've been kind of thinking about all week. We've got 60 minutes left for the deadline, but I appreciate that feedback, Lucas. Donacho Power says, thoughts? I have 2 free transfers, Pickford and Godfrey to Edison or Allison and Lowton. I'd probably go for Allison this week, or I could do Greenwood and Son to Mane and Willock. With that second strategy, Willock would be on my bench. Yeah, I'd go for the first one. 2 free transfers, Pickford and Godfrey to Allison and Lowton. I'd go for that. Lingard, Iheanacho, Greenwood, pick 2. I'd pick Lingard and probably Greenwood, but I don't want to bench Iheanacho, I'll be honest. Hi Dylan, great content. Thank you, Parish. Really appreciate it, mate. My team, please suggest any changes. Schmeichel, Tierney, Arnold, Diaz, Alba, Salah, Lingard, Willock, Aguero, Bamford, Antonio, Soufal, Smith Rowe, Ward on the bench. I really like that. Some good differentials in there. You're going for a -8 with that team. I mean, if there was a way maybe to... You know what? I'd be tempted to start Soufal over Diaz, but That's a good team. I mean, I'm not going to suggest any more transfers for more hits, so that looks good. Hey, Fernandes to Alba and Benteke to Antonio for a -4, or Fernandes to Mane, no hit. Personally, I'd rather go Fernandes to Mane, no hit. Would have to play Pickford, says the Natural Power. Yeah, I'd definitely get Alisson and Lowton in. Bench Digne or James Ward-Prowse? I'd probably bench Digne. Kane to Bamford, Antonio and Son to Mane for a hit. Or Son to Mane and Watkins down to a Vidra. He's on the bench anyway. Yeah, but for a hit, not too sure about that. Yeah, I wouldn't want to get rid of Kane either, so I'd probably go for the second option. Foden or Son? I'd probably start Foden. Start Martinez or Johnston? I would start Martinez. Bruno out for a -4. Whom? I already answered this question, Sharma. No need to repeat the question. Whom to captain amongst Kane, Antonio, Son, Lingard and Rashford? I would probably be tempted by Antonio or Lingard or Kane, and if I had to pick one, probably Antonio. Transfer Phillips and Digne for Trent and 4.5 million defender. Oof. I mean, if you have to for the triple Liverpool thing, fair enough, but otherwise just keep Phillips and just do Digne to Trent. But 4.5 million defender, there's not many. I'd probably go for someone like Holding. Who should I sell? Greenwood, Mahrez, Pereira or Martinez? Who should I go for? In terms of selling, Pereira is a big doubt for this week, so maybe him. And if you were to get rid of him, Rafinha would be the first name. Chilwell in for Digne or Bamford in for DCL? Bamford in for DCL, definitely. -12, bringing in Trent to replace Diaz and Son to replace Bruno. I wouldn't take a -12 personally, but if you're just set on it, then yeah, I think they're good transfers. Really 50-50, both look good. Go with your gut. Both Mane and Bamford, bench Greenwood. So, okay. With Mane, I would be doing a... Let's just kind of explain this clearly. So, let's say, for example, I get Soufal. So, it would be Soufal, Trent and Dallas with Mendy in goal. So, 3 at the back. And then it would be all the midfielders playing. Greenwood would be starting. And Kane and Antonio up front. So, that's if I get Mane in. But if I get Bamford, it'd obviously be 3 up front with Bamford, Kane and Antonio. And the 4 midfielders would be Greenwood, Rafinha, Lingard and Salah. And Bruno would be benched. And the 3 defenders would be the same. Soufal, Dallas and Trent. So literally the difference is Bamford or Antonio, really. Bamford or Mane. So yeah, that's pretty much the kind of conundrum I'm having at the moment. Aranya says, order my bench, Vidra, Rudiger and Reguilon. Rudiger first, Vidra second, Reguilon third. Lewis says, the only way I can start a Chelsea defender is if I take out Dawson. My other 2 defenders is my back 3. Yeah, Dallas and Trent, wouldn't bench them. I would probably start Rudiger, to be honest, because of the clean sheet potential. But Soufal, I mean... Oh, it was Dawson in your case. I mean, he could keep a clean sheet. I'd probably go for Rudiger. Hi, Dylan. Last advice, Robertson or Firmino? I'd rather have Robertson. Do you know if Wan-Bissaka's going to start? Well, according to the lineup, Williams is going to start at right back. Would you replace Shaw with Mendy? It's a very big punt, but it could be worth it. But personally, I'd be looking at Tierney or Soufal or Creswell. But he's a good option if he starts. Will Chilwell start? I think he will, actually. No need to put in caps, mate. Take a -4 to switch my keeper on a bench boost, though. Well, if you're taking a hit for a keeper, then I'd look for Casilla. I think he's a good option this week. Digne or Robinson? Probably Robinson. Swap Diaz for? Probably Soufal, Creswell, Tierney, Trent or Robertson if you can afford one of them. Will Pereira start? I mean, he's a big injury doubt this week, so I'm not sure about that. Start Son or Greenwood? I would start Greenwood. Bruno to Mane and Shaw to Tierney for a -4. Yeah, I think they're good transfers, and that's pretty much something I could have done as well, Joshua. Yeah, I like that. Still undecided on the triple captaincy. Salah, Antonio, Rafinha, Kane, Dallas, 17 points behind top. And he's got triple captaincy as well. Well, in the case of you chasing, I think someone like Antonio or Rafinha could be very good. But I'd triple captain Salah personally. But if you're chasing those 2, Antonio, Rafinha, even Kane, I mean, to be honest, they're all good. And if you back Kane to score, then maybe go for him. But I'm tempted by Antonio or Rafinha in your case. Also, Digne or Fofana to start. I would start Fofana. I have Kane and I don't want to bring in Son. Yeah, definitely don't bring in Son. Who is the right choice to replace Bruno? Mane, if you can, and if not, look to Rafinha or Harrison or Willock, or Ferran Torres. Yeah, and you've got Bamford and Dallas don't want to bring in Rafinha. Fair enough. So then, yeah, I'd go for Mane if you can. Bench DCL or Smith Rowe. I said this before, Adam. I would be benching DCL. Should I bring in Lingard or Willock? I would bring in Lingard over Willock. Can you use wildcard and bench boost in game week 38? No. You can only use one chip in 1 week. You can never use more than one. And this goes for any single game week. Rafinha or Foden or Torres for a -4 against Bale. Rafinha for me. Who's your captain this week? So looking at my captaincy, it's going to be Salah, even if I do bring in Bamford or Mane. So yeah. Calvert-Lewin to Wood for a -4. I have no Antonio, no Bamford, but going for a differential. Fair enough. And yeah, I think that's a good transfer. Mitchell for Creswell or Digne for Trent? Probably, yeah, Digne for Trent. And start Trent, obviously. Yeah, Sergio, I'd go for that. And 100 people watching, really appreciate it. Remember to smash the like button and subscribe if you're new around here. And share this video around with anyone who loves FPL. Martinez or 4-star? I would still start Martinez. 10 minutes to go. Yeah, do the transfer now before the site will be stuck. True, that is true. It's literally a question for me between Bamford and Mane. Fuck, you know, it's tough, isn't it? It's really tough. I mean, in both cases... I mean, I'm not too bothered about the defender. I'm not that confident in Tierney to be getting him in, but he could do something. And then there's Creswell or Soufal. That's tough. It's very, very tough. I mean, it's literally just, yeah, am I getting Bamford or am I getting Mane? Jesus. All the best of luck. Soufal. I mean, I already got him in there. -4. Soufal and Bamford. Oh my god. I mean, Mane, his record against Palace is what really, really gets me. And I like his expected goal involvements recently. It's very tough. Yeah, and there have been leaks about the Manchester United lineup. The Liverpool one, I'm not too sure about. I'm not sure if it's a reliable source. But Manchester United, basically from the kind of popular assets, Greenwood's the only one. Everyone else really is benched. Luke Shaw, Bruno Fernandes, etc. Rashford, Pogba. So, yeah, that's kind of the leaked team news. I'll be recapping it in a bit as well. This is the kind of... You know what? I mean, the ownership as well is kind of what sways me. And Bamford... I mean, is Bamford going to blank against West Brom? I just don't see it. But is Mane going to blank? You know what? I think I'm going to stick to my gun and I'm going to be going for Mane. But I could end up regretting not getting Mr. Bamford. I think that's what I'm going to be going for. Jesus. And then how much would I have with that? 1.8 million. Yeah, Luke Shaw's not going to start anyway, so yeah. How much would I have? 6.6 with this. Yeah, 6.6. Will De Gea start? No, he's not going to start. It'll be Dean Henderson, apparently. Good luck, Dylan. Thank you for the help over the season. Hope you get more exposure for next season. Well deserved. Thank you, Lilovac. Really appreciate it. And good to see you on Twitter and also on YouTube throughout the whole season. And good luck with this week. Marcus says, I'm panicking. Apparently the Man United lineup might be wrong according to Goldbridge. Maybe I should take out Greenwood for a hit. He said he might not start. Jesus Christ, this is literally just chaos, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, no wonder you're panicking. I'm going to be looking... Let me go back on Mr. Goldbridge and let's see what he's saying. I mean, apparently this might not be the team now. Yeah, so there you go, you see. Yeah. I mean, the thing is with Ollie, he said there's going to be a few... Yeah, do you hear that, yeah? A few changes. He didn't say there's going to be a big overhaul. So Luke Shaw, regardless, I think is not going to start. So, you know what? Jesus. Is Mane starting? Yeah, he should be starting, Michael. Areola or Ramsdale or Dubravka or Edison? Yeah, Dubravka out of those four. Yeah, I mean, I think Luke Shaw's not going to start. But in terms of Bruno, he might still get a run out. He loves to play. So, and if that's the case, if Bruno is going to start and maybe Greenwood's benched, then it probably favours me to just get Bamford in and then maybe I could bench Greenwood, potentially. But it's just a complete disaster. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's so many kind of variables and it's not good to panic or to make last minute decisions. And I've thought about this a lot, and I was literally set on getting Mane throughout the whole week, and to get in someone like Sufal, for example, in defence. So, yeah. I'm probably just going to get Sufal, take the hit. I don't like taking hits for defenders. Sufal tends not to even get that many points anyway, so this is probably not a good idea. Jesus. I mean, it's just a shame that that kind of news isn't reliable, to be honest. Dylan, start Dina, he will get an assist today. I mean, I'm not sure about that. That's very wishful thinking. 11 points off the top 10k. Captain Salah, Mane, Bamford or Rafinha. I'd still captain Salah, but if you're really confident in the others, I'd go for Mane or Bamford, and probably Mane. Any two from Bamford, Antonio and Wood? Yeah, Bamford and Antonio, definitely. Start Rudiger Holding. I said this before. I'd start Rudiger. Okay, so 4 minutes left for the deadline. Let's see if I can get anything from Twitter. And then I'll try to answer any last minute questions. Let's see. Man United lineup. Is there anything that we can garner? Because that's a big kind of part in my decision making today. Let's see. Let's go back on the goal bridge thing. Jeez, this is just... I'm never doing this again, by the way. This is why I always try to do the kind of transfers before the... Ollie's leaked a fake team to find the source of the leaks, then that's what people are saying. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Yeah, this, you know what? I'm just going to... The thing is, I don't want to get rid of Bruno if he is going to start, and there might be a chance of him starting. So, Jesus, this is not ideal at all. I might just be getting Bamford in, but yeah, I do really like Mane this week. That's the thing. I really like him this week. But then again, like if I do this, who am I going to bench then? Bruno or Greenwood? I don't even know who's going to start in that case. Jesus, if I could just do one free transfer for Sufal in, I'd probably do that and avoid, or should I say Bamford in for Vidra? Yeah. Mr. Bamford, I hope you don't let me down, and then he could be the 60-minute thing again coming into play, because Hernandez, it's his last game, isn't it? Pablo Hernandez. Mane in for Fernandez. Jesus Christ, man. This is giving me a headache. Yeah, make a transfers, mate. Last 2 minutes. He is. Yeah, I think it is. Especially if you're chasing a differential, or should I say chasing a rank. I think he's one of the best differentials this week. Him and Bamford. And that's why I'm literally so stuck on whether I get Bamford or Mane. Just getting rid of Bruno. I mean, this is the thing. Ollie said a few changes, but then I'll have an extra headache now with who do I bench between Bruno and Greenwood. Jesus Christ. Greenwood did start the last game. You know what? I'm just going to go with my book. Yeah, fuck it. Let's go. This is what it's all about, isn't it? Last minute transfers, last minute mayhem. Sadio Mane is coming in. Hopefully I do this on time. -4, Sufal, Mane. Are we sure? Are we sure? Are we sure? Let's get Creswell. Last minute panic. Just because he's a bit more explosive. And then bye-bye. Done. Yeah, confirm. Let's do this. Oh yeah, no. No, don't you dare. Either way, Luke Shaw probably won't start anyway. But yeah, this is what I'm probably going to go for. Yeah. Save team. Save team. Oh my God. Panic Central. This is what it's all about. And there you go. I ended up going for Mane. I just really like the ownership. I like the stats. I like his record against Palace. I really like Bamford too, but then there's also the kind of 60-minute thing. It could go either way. That's a decision alongside a lot of decisions this year, which can sometimes go against you. But I just about made it in time, this transfer. And let's see. So this is... yeah, okay, yeah. The deadline's passed now, by the way, but yeah, at least this kind of went through. It'd be such a shame if Jota, for example, comes out of the blue, he starts and Mane's benched. But that's it. That's it for the season, and I'll still be going for any last questions. Apologies if I missed any, but in the end, I had to focus on my team because I literally left it up until the last second, and I Actually had a feeling about Bamford as well. I think he could do extremely well this week. But in the end, I went with Mane. Salah's my captain. I did take the -4 in the end. In terms of my rank, because it isn't on screen today, I'm around 55k. I'm looking to break into the top 50k once again. I've got 2,365 points overall. And yeah, last week I got 45 points. So on the back of 2 very disappointing weeks where I got 2 red arrows, I'm looking to end it with a green arrow. I don't like taking hits in the last day of the season, but it's what we're dealt with. And yeah, in the end, Salah's my captain, Mane's my vice, Antonio Kane up front, Greenwood's there, Lingard, Rafinha, not too sure about Greenwood there. Luke Shaw, Vidra are on my bench, but Vidra's first sub. Forster should play, but I ended up going with Mendy, and Trent, Dallas and Creswell make up my defence. And to be honest, maybe I shouldn't have gone with Creswell, but you know what? The thing with Soufal is he's very consistent, but he's not that explosive. With Creswell, he can get assists, he can get bonus points. So in the end, I went with him. But yeah, thank you everyone who has tuned in. Really appreciate it. Any news on the City lineup? There's no news there, I'm afraid. But I do think they're going to play relatively strong lineup, but not the full lineup that they're going to be going against with Chelsea. Mane, captain or Salah? I prefer Salah. That's why I went with him. But Mane's a good differential if you're looking to chase rank. I should have captained Mane, says Siang. Well, man, we'll wait and see. But Mane is, you know what? It could be a case where he outscores Salah. It could happen, but hopefully they both score and they get the points. I think we cover them pretty well, having both of them. Creswell, good shout. Thank you, Chris. I hope you're right, but you know what? I've just been set on getting a West Ham defender all week if I was to make a defender transfer in. But if I was, let me be honest. So if I was only going to make a defender transfer and get rid of Digne, it would have been for Robertson and double up on the Liverpool defence and start Bruno and Greenwood. But you know what? Here's what it is. You know, if Bruno starts, he gets a penalty, and Mane blanks or gets benched, it's going to be a big shame. But yeah, other than Robertson, I was always looking at Soufal or Creswell, and I look at it for a 1-week punt. Who's more explosive? Who's been more explosive over the season? Who's got a lot of double-digit returns? Who tends to do better at home? It's Creswell, and he's got the higher assist potential, even in terms of underlying stats and XGA, or should I say XA, expected assists. It's Creswell. So let's hope it works, but Soufal is also a good option this week, I think. Stuck with Greenwood in the end. Thought it was the tipping point. The hit was the tipping point. If it was free, I would have done it. Reckon Greenwood will start as he ain't in the Europa League final team for me. And even few changes keeps Greenwood in. Yeah, I agree. I nearly called you Greenwood, Marco. But yeah, that's the thing. I also think he won't start in the Europa League final. And even if he does, he has the kind of legs to make an impact in the Europa League final coming on as a sub, or even today against Wolves, he can do the same thing. And yeah, even if Bruno does start, I'm not that sure if the ceiling is that high. But with Mane, it could be. This could be a bad decision in the end, and I should have gone for Bamford or maybe just not done anything. But you know, it's the last roll of the dice, and you know, we're dealt with what we are. Sharon says, mate, absolutely great content. Shumbled through mid-season and I've been watching since. Keep up the good work. Really appreciate the kind words, and hopefully you end strongly and next season you do even better. And yeah, I'm really humbled by your words. Really appreciate it, mate. Time's up, but Greenwood or DCL? Greenwood for me, but I'm not sure if he starts. I've gone for a triple captain Salah with Mane as well. Salah is going for the Golden Boot versus Kane and top 4 for UCL spot next season in front of 10,000 fans in Anfield cheering Liverpool on. Yeah, you've called this Adil from a long time. I think you said this even in Gameweek 32 maybe, or Gameweek 35 if I don't remember, if I remember correctly, because I was talking about Kane triple captain and all of that, and you always said, well, Salah last day of the season in front of Liverpool fans could be a game changer. You could be onto something there. So, yeah. And you have Mane as well. You cover Liverpool very well. I panicked and benched Iheanacho, says Kurt. Well, it depends who you benched him for. Maybe it's not that bad. It might sound bad on paper, because it does sound bad. But, yeah, I wouldn't have benched Iheanacho. But if it's the case of, you know, starting Rafinha or him, then, or stuff like that, then I completely get the logic there. Yeah, Kieran, I agree with Adil as well. I've gone into the final game without a keeper, I guess. Fabianski. Yeah, you just got to hope. But yeah, with Fabianski, he always gets injured. What's your take on other FPL content creators? Very good question, says Peter Peters. I mean, there's a lot of FPL content creators, and I think this season more than anything, it seems like it's just exploded. I was making videos last season, but I did delete a lot of the content I made last season, and you know, I was very low-key back then. I mean, I'm low-key now, and I was even more low-key back then. But there's so many. I mean, for example, the first one I ever watched was FPL Tips. Just short, straight to the point, concise, very good graphics. Let's Talk FPL, very good as well. Obviously, they kind of have a different style to FPL Tips. Now there's kind of more podcasts, FPL Wire. There's also Black Box, which is probably one of the best ones out there. But yeah, there's a lot of good ones. I'm probably missing, I think, FPL TV. There was also from the official FPL or the Premier League website or YouTube channel, there was FPL FYI. I did like that. It was a bit of, they added a kind of game show element to it. Other than that, I mean, there's so many. I mean, I'm probably forgetting. I mean, there's FPL Take the Hit. They've got a different vibe. They're very good. They're one of the first ones I was watching. But yeah, there's so many to go through. But those are kind of the main ones I've been watching over the years. But yeah, I'll be honest, since creating content, I've kind of watched them less and less. I try to just do my own thing, and obviously there's a lot of room for improvement on my side. But yeah, I try not to kind of let other people, especially their content and stuff, influence me. I definitely don't want to copy other people, and yeah, obviously I don't want if other people copied me. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on the other FPL content creators. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of different styles, and that's what kind of makes it great. And in the end, all talking about football, and that's what we all love to do. I put Bamford instead of Antonio. Fair enough. I mean, both good options this week, and Bamford could do extremely well against West Brom. Let's wait and see what happens there, mate. Yeah, I've called it for ages and now finally done it. Good luck, everyone. Good luck to you as well, Adil. How would you describe your fantasy experience this season out of 10? Very good questions coming up. So, Kieran, I'd probably say a 7. The reason why is because last season I made a great comeback from a very poor position for literally half a season all the way up into 67k, I think. And my target this season was to break into the top 50k. And I look back on it now and I think better captaincy decisions. Also, I think I changed my defenders too much this season, and I think that has cost me in a way. And some hits I took were unnecessary. So I did make some mistakes along the way. I did have some bad luck too with injuries and stuff like that, especially around the Christmas period or the winter period, should I say. But I'd say a 7 because I'm pretty happy with my rank overall. I've been very consistent this season. I've always pretty much been in the top 200k, apart from maybe the first 2 game weeks. And I've been going around 50, 60, 70k for a lot of it. So I've been very consistent. I'd probably say a 7. I could do better next season. And yeah, there's a lot of things I can improve on. And I'll definitely be analysing what I've, done wrong, what I've done right, and hopefully improve going forward. But yeah, very good question. Singh says, still think Villa can do an upset in front of the fans. Yeah, I think if there's an upset in the top 4 race, I think that's where it's coming from. I don't really see, Tottenham beating Leicester. You never know, but I don't see it happening. And I don't see Liverpool losing to Palace. I was last in my mini league till game week 19. That totally changed the game for me. I'm in second now, trailing the leader by 1 point. And if I can finish top, it'll be a great first season for me. I mean, yeah, it's your first season, Aranya, damn. And great comeback. And yeah, game week 19 was the first big double, well, it's the biggest double game week of the season, besides game week 26, I think. So yeah, that was a big turning point. FPL Tips is the real MVP. Yeah, he's different style, but definitely one of the better content creators out there. Thanks again, Dylan. Best of luck to you and all others. Thank you, J-Ham. Good luck to you as well, and hopefully you get the rank you want. Mane and Lowton or Phillips and Torres and triple captain Kane counter-attacking team. Well, Shetty, the deadline has passed, but I prefer Mane and Lowton. Started with FPL Tips as well, short to the point and nice graphics to go with it. Yeah, and the music as well, the iconic music. Dylan, will you start a mini league next season? Yeah, I'll be looking to do one next season. Same with UCL Fantasy, and it will be a bit of fun. So I'll let you guys know when that happens with FPL next season. But obviously, no point doing it now, and the deadline's passed anyway. But yeah, next season I'll be looking to do one. As a Manchester City fan, I want Aguero to score 2 to break Rooney's record. Yeah, I mean, he really should have, and the fact he missed that penalty against Chelsea, but. I mean, another fact, I'm mentioning a lot of facts like Rafa Benitez. How has he scored only 2 Premier League goals this season? I mean, wow. For Aguero to end his Premier League career like that, I mean, that's crazy. I think his lowest before that was 12 goals, and that's because of injury. Can't wait for Timo Pukki. I mean, yeah, but he might just bite us in the end, Nigel. But, I mean, Ivan Toney, if he comes to the Premier League, he could be one to look out for. Penalty merchant, well, still gets goals and, points. Asraf says, season over, Dylan, go and watch the The Expanse until the Euro. Best series in last few years. Expanse. Okay. Well, if you're talking about shows, I mean, at the moment I'm watching The Wire. I'm finishing that up. I've been taking so long on that, but it's one of my favourite shows of all time, and I think that and Breaking Bad are the best that I've seen. And yeah, I'm just taking my time because I look at it, and apart from The Sopranos, I don't see anything else matching it. And I just, shows like that you don't watch every day. Who do you think will win the Euros? Great question, Eddie. I think France or Belgium, if I'm being honest. And yeah, I'll be honest, I'm mainly concerned about the Copa America, and hopefully Argentina win that. But in terms of the Euros, I might be watching that as well. And yeah, that will be kind of my thoughts on it. Can I send my team on Instagram? You can, Norak. Obviously, I won't be able to look at it now, but later on, after this stream is over, and after I kind of do some other stuff, I'll be able to look at it. Thanks, Dylan. It's been a great season. It definitely has, Anas. Very up and down. A lot of postponements out of nowhere. COVID, injuries, rotation. It's just been a crazy season, but yeah, it's been worth it. It's been fun. And free hit saved me this game week, mate. Yeah, yeah, definitely. But just bear in mind, for anyone who's asking questions about FPL in terms of what should I do, the deadline has passed. It's an early deadline today, 2:30. That's why I've been streaming since 1 p.m. GMT. Kieran says, same here, mate. In my league, I started off bottom for the first 20 weeks, but I've been getting 100-point weeks pretty consistently, and I've been watching your videos. I'm hoping for a great week. Good luck. Well, that's very good, man. And 100 points consistently, people just dream of that stuff. But very good. Thanks, Dylan. We'll see you next year. Thank you, Asaraf. Really appreciate it. And yeah, if you do UCL Fantasy as well, if you are going to join in next season, so tune in for that as well. Euros as well, if I do content on that. Hope to see all of you there as well. I transferred out Vidra and got Bamford. I also decided to bench Greenwood because I couldn't trust the leaks, and I have no idea how Greenwood will perform with a weak lineup anyways. Good luck, Dylan. That's a good point, Blues FPL. But I still think Greenwood can do well. I mean, you look at how he performed against Leicester, leading the line. That was a great performance. He got the goal. And I really rate Greenwood, and his stats have just been so good over the last 6. Obviously, he's not as high up as he was before in terms of XGI, for example, but he hasn't actually played all the minutes. But he's still in the top 6, I think. Yeah, top 6. Only El Ghazi, Martinelli, Mane, Bruno Fernandes, and Salah are higher for XGI, and he's got 4 goals in his last 6 game weeks, which is the most of any midfielder other than Willock. So yeah, I really like Greenwood at the moment, and yeah, there's kind of concerns of if he's going to start. Is he going to start in a good team? But I think it's worth it. I think we just have to wait and see what happens. The Wire is better than The Sopranos. I need to watch The Sopranos. I think that will be my kind of cup of tea. I really like the mafia type of stuff and, Italian gangster stuff. But yeah, The Wire is just fantastic. The writing is the best I've ever seen of any show. Breaking Bad, if I had to pick one show, I might still go for Breaking Bad, but that was the first kind of top show I've watched. But yeah, I mean, I really like The Wire as well. It's so unique as well. But yeah, fantastic shows we're talking about. 3 p.m. will be chaos, obviously. There'll be some lineups people won't care about, but all being released at the same time will be carnage. Just hope and pray at this point. Even if I place 9999, I'm so happy, yeah. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, I might stay around for the 3 o'clock thing. Obviously, I'm still going through the chats now, and I'm kind of behind, so I apologize for that. But still 81 people watching. Really appreciate it. And I think this is the most viewed deadline stream to date. So really appreciate all the support today. And yeah, just great conversations to be had. I haven't even eaten lunch yet. So as soon as this is done, I will be having a late lunch, but not to worry about that. All right, Norak, thank you. And yeah, send it on Instagram and I'll be sure to let you know. And by the way, just for people in general, a lot of times when you do send messages on Instagram or Twitter, it doesn't actually come up as a notification. So if I do take time to respond, it's because I need to check my message requests, and it tends to go into that folder. So obviously I will try to get to any kind of messages as soon as possible, but always feel free to send messages on there. And even on Twitter, for example, you can send public messages and then I'll get the notification for that. Kurt says, about next season, do you know who should we be watching as FPL managers with new promoted team? In terms of newly promoted teams, who should we be watching? Well, in terms of specific players, I think Buendia, if he stays at Norwich, Ivan Toney, if he gets promoted, but that's obviously, we're going to see the playoff final between Brentford and Swansea. Other than that, I think Swansea defenders could be worth looking at, or their goalkeeper. Who else? Max Aarons. Yeah, Norwich have actually matured a bit, I think. They've actually improved defensively. So maybe one of them. Timo Pukki is another one. But you know what? That's something else. So when I'm actually making FPL content for next season, in the kind of pre-season, when we're in the summer, we're all relaxing, we're all kind of forgetting about FPL. I'll be talking about players to watch out for from the championship. I'm going to be analysing, all the stats. I'm going to be looking at highlights and stuff, because I'll be honest, I haven't looked at the championship this season at all, and it's only kind of the table I've been following quite a bit. Start Shaw holding. Well, I would have started holding, but then again, you could just start Shaw, and if he doesn't play, then holding comes on. But either way, the deadline has passed, just letting you know. Mate, which opposition player has cost you the most this season? For me, it was Lingard. Great question. There is definitely someone. Let me think of it. Who has cost me the most? Great question. That's definitely something that when I'm doing my retrospective look over the season, that will be something I'm looking at. I think Creswell is actually one of them. So, you know what? Damn you, Creswell, and you're in my team now. But in terms of defenders, I think he's definitely one of them, because he was highly owned for a long portion of the season. I had mini league rivals getting, double-digit returns from him constantly. Even when I had Sufa, I wasn't enough cover. So Creswell is definitely someone who comes to mind. Midfielders, there should be someone, surely. Who has cost me? Great question. Probably the first 10 game weeks when I didn't have him, Bruno Fernandes was someone who was costing me. Yeah, and that was probably another mistake I made, not getting on Bruno early enough. I was talking about how good of an asset he is, but I just didn't bring myself to do it. I had other assets like Salah. Yeah, I think Bruno, first 10 game weeks. Creswell throughout the whole season, finally got him in. Dallas is actually another one, because I'd bench him when he, plays a top 6 opposition away from home. He gets a goal, and when I start him, he'd get 1 or 2 points. So he's another one. So those are the kind of names I'd be throwing about. Bamford actually is another one. Whenever I bench him, I think he got 12 to 15 points against Leicester, and he was on my bench for that. So those are the kind of names I'd be throwing about. But great question. There might be someone else I'm missing out there. Looking forward to the break. It's been a hard season, yeah. And even the last week or so, there's been a big turnaround between different game weeks. Missed the deadline. Sad to not have been able to bring in Tierney, but it is what it is. Yeah, I mean, what I would recommend to you and everyone else, if you go on the FPL app, there is actually a option. It's like a switch. If you click it, for FPL notifications, it will let you know when the deadline's approaching. So when there's like 24 hours left, there will be a notification coming up on your phone or your tablet or whatever device you're using, and it will tell you. And I would recommend doing that. Yeah, another one who missed the deadline, Gaming Nah. I feel for you there, but yeah, that's why I always try to make sure I make transfers early. I mean, I'm saying that, but I made these transfers literally seconds before the deadline, so we'll see what happens. Jota and Henderson are in the squad. Oh dear. Please don't bench Mane. I swear, Klopp, don't do that. I appreciate all you've done for me this season. No problem, Michael. It's just talking about football and engaging with all of you. Really appreciate all the support from you and many others. So really appreciate it, mate. I sound like a legend back there. It wasn't 100-point weeks in a row. Yeah, I know, but every 2-3 weeks. I mean, that's still very good. 100 points every 2-3 weeks. I'd be taking that. But I moved up the table a lot. I mean, I'd be surprised if you didn't, to be honest, Kieran. Thanks for this season. Now all that is left is for Chelsea to win. No, I'm not even going to repeat that. I'm not even going to finish that sentence. Thank you, William. Really appreciate the support, but I'm never going to wish Chelsea to win the Champions League. Even if it means Arsenal getting to Europa, no chance. I want Manchester City to win that. But then again, that's another club that win the Champions League before us. Bro, please do the Euro fantasy videos. I'll definitely be letting you know if I do it, and I'll have to set up the stuff like the thumbnails, the graphics and stuff like that, but I'll let you guys know if I do, and it's something I'm looking at for sure. Hey Dylan, good content for this season. If you're creating a league for Euros, let us know so we can join. Take care. I'll let you guys know, and also the same thing with content. I'll definitely do that. Why is everybody playing Lingard this game week? Well, he's playing Southampton at home. They've actually given up. They're one of the teams that have given up the most double-digit returns of any team. They've got a pretty poor defence. Lingard got 7 points last week, and he could do something. He's not someone that I would be looking to get rid of, even for a hit, or especially for a hit. But yeah, I get your concerns. He's not someone I'd be that willing to get in, but I had him for a long time. I wasn't going to get rid of him. I had other fires to put out, like Bruno Fernandes, and obviously not starting Shaw. So that's kind of how I looked at it. Brought in Robertson, Willock and Saka. Looks very good, Bill. Not sure about Saka, but the other two look very, very good. Speaking of the Copa America, why is it taking place again this year? It happened in 11 and then 15, 16 and was the Centenario, and then 19, why 21 again? And then 24, I don't understand. Well, to kind of sum it up, so 2016 was the 100-year anniversary. Argentina should have won, but whatever. It is what it is. The reason why it's happening this year is because it's delayed by 1 year because of COVID. Now, 2021 was going to be the original kind of date, or should I say 2023, but they moved it to 2020. They did another one because they are trying to match the Euros and have it at the same year. Same with the Olympics. So all of that, it's basically going to be one big summer where you have the Copa America, you have the Euros all on at once, and the Olympics. So they kind of just try to match the calendar. But the reason why it's this year is because obviously of COVID, they had to change it. But it's going to be every 4 years now. But obviously there's been a lot of Copa Americas over the years. And hopefully Messi finally gets his hands on one. And same with Argentina. It's long overdue, mate. Long overdue. As I said, Arte, if there is Euro Fantasy content coming, I'll be letting you guys know within the next week or so. I should be making a decision. And if I do make it, I'll be setting everything up ready for the Euros, which is happening in less than 3 weeks' time. Watch Goodfellas. Oh yeah, I've definitely watched that. I've Bronx Tale, I've watched that as well, and Casino, watch that too, mate. Very good recommendations. Godfather trilogy, watch that. I love mafia films and anything to do with Scorsese or anything like that. Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci. Count me in, mate. Count me in. Apparently Greenwood not starting. Okay, thank you, Kobe. And on that note, goodbye, everyone. It is what it is, yeah, hopefully he comes on, gets some goals, or if not, Vidra comes on, or Shaw. But yeah, it is what it is, I just hope that Bruno doesn't start and does very well. Our team is similar. I have Holding, Son and Bamford, says El Padrino. Yeah. A lot of teams are similar. I've been talking about this before. It's kind of difficult to be different. Players like Mane have been just so indifferent all season. So it's hard to kind of be different because everyone's spending money on the same kind of premiums. And a lot of kind of standouts like Rafinha, they're cheap and they're kind of no-brainers. Brentford or Swansea? Surely Brentford could do it now. I'd probably say Brentford, but I'll be honest, I don't know too much about that. There is a stat actually, and I'm pretty sure Swansea finished third, didn't they? Where the team that finishes third tends to win the playoffs. But we'll see. Yeah, Greenwood is set to not start versus Wolves. Yeah, that's a shame. I've just realised I haven't been subscribed this whole time. Just sub, bro. Oh. Nah, don't talk to me, Kieran. I'm joking. Thank you for the subscription. And doesn't matter. I mean, a lot of times I actually watch content. I don't realise I'm subscribed or not myself. So don't worry about that. I regret not bringing in Gundogan when he hit form. Yeah, that's actually kind of one of my highlights this season. Bringing him in a few game weeks into his run and just getting rid of him at the right time as well, because obviously his role changed after game week 30, we could say, and then he kind of adopted a more defensive role. But yeah, he's been a bit of a weird one this season, hasn't he? Soucek question mark? Yeah, I mean Soucek, he's been he's another one actually. Great suggestion there. Yeah, he's definitely someone who's been costing me all season. Hope Bruno doesn't start. Well, I'll hang myself. Well, chill with those comments, mate. But yeah, I hope Bruno doesn't start too. Have you seen Blow with Johnny Depp? No, I haven't. Okay, I'll definitely watch that. What was that? There's a film with him and Al Pacino in it. It's escaping me, but I've watched that one. What was it? Oh, Donnie Brasco. I think that's the one. That's the one I've seen. Hope Bruno. Yeah. My Wi-Fi wasn't working. I couldn't make any transfers. Yeah, that's a shame, man. Yeah, a lot of people have been missing their deadline today just because it's early as well. But, don't worry about it. It can still do well. Dallas is this year's Lord Lundstrom. Yeah. And probably even better, actually. I mean, what a player Dallas has been this season. Bye, Dylan. Thanks for all the help this season. Thank you, Adil. Thank you for everyone who's watching at the moment. I'm going to scroll up a bit and try find any questions I missed. Kieran says, Dylan, I see that you're hoping for a West Ham win, but a Southampton upset will hurt. Yeah, it would. Yeah, I've got triple West Ham now. Yeah, Creswell, Lingard, Antonio. Please, West Ham, come on. Get Europa League football. And do London proud, because the rest of London's shit. Let's be honest. Good luck, hermano. Thank you, Kobe. Good luck to you as well, mate. Who do you reckon is the one to watch next year from promoted teams? For me, it's Sarr and Tony of Brentford Wood. Yeah, Sarr's a good one. Also, Buendia, if he stays at Norwich. Timo Pukki, Max Aarons. Although, are they going to stay? Especially Aarons and Buendia. I think a Swansea defender would also be worth looking at. But as I said before, if I'm going to be doing preseason content, I'm going to be covering teams to look out for and also players. Good God. Oil FC versus Russian Corruption FC. So romantic, yeah. I prefer Manchester City out of the two, but yeah, I mean, I just don't like oil clubs. It has been my first good season with you, Dylan. Next season better, top 500k is my target. I think you can aim higher than that. You can even aim for the top 100k. Always aim high, but obviously at the same time you want to be realistic. But yeah, a lot of preparation, just put good thought into it, put some time into it, have fun, don't stress. And you can definitely, aim very high and do well. Salah, Mane, Bobby, all start via Rockstar. Yes, sir. Finally, some good news. Thank you, El Padrino. Thank you very much. Let's go. Let me actually check this. And yeah, we're still streaming. Jesus, it's 3 o'clock nearly. My lord. Any updates from Mr. Goldbridge? I was on this page because of apparently this might not be the team now. It's the bloody pink boots, Marcus. Goldbridge, I mean, this guy's funny, man. FPL Rockstar. Let's see. What is he saying? Oh, my God. Just a kind of warning for some of you. There's actually parody accounts or troll accounts for Rockstar. So there's literally one called FR0 Star, pretty much. Or, yeah. So just kind of be wary of that. Okay, I'm on his page, 72k. Anyone want legit team news? Salah, Mane, Bobby all start. Jota and Henderson on the bench. Robertson and Trent start. No Benteke. Anything else, mate? Anything else? Okay, there's nothing else. But you know what? I appreciate that, Rockstar, and whoever brought that up. El Padrino. Thank you very much, El Padrino, the Godfather. Thank you very much, mate. United will get nowhere near the title next season. How they are in second, I have no idea. Well, the problem with United, they've been very well. Oh my God, I need a drink. United have been very good away from home this season, but a lot of draws. And then you look at their home record, it's pretty average. But I do think United will be in the top 3 next season. But the reason why they are so clear in second is because Leicester, very inconsistent. Well, everyone basically. Let me just kind of cut it down. Everyone in this season has been very inconsistent other than City. That's why United are clear in second. But I think with the right investment, they could possibly challenge for the league. But if City get Kane, I mean, it's literally over, I think, potentially. But Liverpool should be stronger next season. I think they could be in for a shout. And Chelsea, I think that will be the top 4 next season for sure. And then you have, the likes of Leicester. I think they'll be in and amongst the top 6. I think Arsenal will do better next season, but will they be in the top 4? I don't think so. Definitely not now. They need a lot of investment. But Arsenal could maybe be in and amongst the mix, but not for me. Not right now. I'll be realistic there. I think West Ham will drop off a bit. But you know what? That's another thing I'm going to be doing. Premier League predictions. And actually, I did make Premier League predictions at the beginning of this season. And I'm going to be actually looking at how I did. But for next season, not just FPL stuff, football in general, I'm going to be doing a Premier League prediction. So hopefully you tune in for that. And thank you everyone who's obviously putting in questions now and still tuning in. 70 people. Jesus. Dallas won't be as good next year. Yeah, maybe not, but still, the work is done. It always will be, as Thanos says. You the real MVP, Dylan. Thanks for the content. No, thank you, Brian. You're the MVP for watching, and really appreciate all the support and the positive vibes. Do you think Aubameyang will stay at Arsenal next year? I've been saying this. I think one of him or Lacazette will be leaving Arsenal within the next year or two, and I think it will be Lacazette. So I think Aubameyang will start, will play. I'm just used to saying that, am I? I'm a Liverpool fan, cheering for them on for a huge win against Palace. Thanks for the content, Dylan. Thank you, Kieran. Good luck, and thank you for the subscription as well. Really appreciate it. Good luck to you as well. And let's see. Henderson, yes, says Adil. Fair enough. I'm guessing you're talking about Dean Henderson, aren't you? Lineups. Yeah, I'm going to be talking about the lineups now. Thank you for that. I'm annoyed I'm stuck with Bruno, who isn't going to play unless he comes on. Hope he stays on the bench. And Rudiger gets clean. Oh, so Bruno's benched, isn't he? Leeds will be fire, I think, next season. I think they'll be challenging for the top 8, top 9, but I'm not sure if they'll be proper fire. But Bielsa's a great coach. The kind of gripe I have with him is how badly Argentina was in 2002 World Cup. They basically broke the records for the qualifiers up against the eventual winners of the World Cup, Brazil. Argentina were actually better than Brazil at that moment, and somehow in the tournament, complete chaos, the worst ever World Cup, crashing out of the group stages. Brazil ended up winning the World Cup. But Bielsa's a great manager. Hasn't won a lot, but he's the type of manager who kind of instills a philosophy. He leaves a legacy, and yeah, he's just very entertaining. His teams are entertaining anyway, and his press conferences are funny. Bamford out, says Shimon. I mean, the deadline has passed, by the way, but I wouldn't be getting him out. I will be talking about the lineups very soon, though. Yep, the lineups are out, Marco. I'm going to try to get about 4 or 5 games on, maybe Soccer Saturday or whatever it's called. I'm going to probably watch Arsenal, Leicester, Liverpool, Leeds, and maybe Chelsea can have Sky Sports open too. I'll be honest, as much as I don't want to watch Arsenal, I'll probably be watching them and nothing else. But, maybe Leicester Spurs, that's a good game. I'm 59k overall going into the last game week, which is my highest ever finish. Thanks for your videos and content this season. Very similar rank to me, and to be honest, yeah, I'm around 55k. I did take a hit, so maybe I'm around 60k now. So let's see. Jordan Henderson, not Dean. Yeah. Jordan Henderson is back, it seems, just in time for the Euros. Will you cover the next Copa America and Argentina? I potentially will, Ahmed, and I've mentioned this before. So there'll be not only more deadline streams, more reaction streams, team selection previews, so at least 3-4 videos a week, and then you add in UCL Fantasy on top of that. But I'm also thinking of doing general football videos, so talking about the Premier League, predictions, talking about Copa America and Euros. So if I do any of those sort of things, you lot will be obviously advised, but I've definitely been in my thinking, and I'll obviously have to be setting all the stuff up, such as the thumbnails, the content itself, the graphics and everything. But yeah, I will let you guys know about that. Mara starting, let's go. Yeah, I had a feeling he'd start, but I wasn't sure about that. Greenwood benched, yeah, that sucks. Bamford and Greenwood. Bamford benched! Oh my god, I dodged a bullet there. You have got to be kidding about Bamford. Fuck it, I nearly got him. I would literally be crying right now. Wow. Okay, so let's go through the lineups. Let's not panic. And after the lineups, I'll be going through some last questions before wrapping up. Thank you everyone who has been here. Arsenal versus Brighton. Let's go with that. It's the first one that comes up, and obviously it's my team. So Leno in goal, Chambers, Holden, Gabriel, Turney, solid. Thomas Partey, Xhaka, and Pepe, Odegaard, Smith Rowe, Aubameyang, solid lineup. McAllister and Trossard are starting up front. Moda, Bissouma, Gross, Jikanabash, and it looks like Bissouma could go Arsenal. That'd be a good transfer. Daniel Byrne, Dunk, Webster, Ben White, Sanchez. Yeah, Dunk is back from his suspension. Good lineup from Brighton. Good lineup from Arsenal, to be fair. Aston Villa versus Chelsea. Martinez, Konsa, House, Mings, Target, Nakamba, McGinn, Traore, Grealish, El Ghazi, Watkins. And then we look at Chelsea. Mendy starts, that's good. Rudiger, Thiago Silva, Aspilicueta, Reece James, Kovacic, Jorginho, Chilwell, Pulisic, that's one to look out for. Mount and Werner up front. And we look at Fulham versus Newcastle United. Hopefully this is right. So for Fulham, apparently Rodak is starting in goal. Tete, Ream, Reed, Adarabio. Okay, no. Tosin, just call it Tosin. Ivan Cavallero, Lookman, Brian, Onomoa, Anguissa, and Carvalho, who was mentioned earlier in the stream. Oh dear, Newcastle. Apparently Gillespie is starting in goal. Dummett, Carroll, Shelvey, Saint-Maximin, Ritchie, Kraft, Federico Fernandez, Jacob Murphy, Willock, and Miguel Almiron. Leeds United versus West Brom. I need to see it to believe it about Bamford. Kessia in goal, Eiling, Berardi, Cooper, Alioski, Phillip, Rafinha, Hernandez, Dallas, Harrison, Rodrigo up front. And then for West Brom, Johnston, O'Shea, Townsend, Ajayi, Cal Bartley, Furlong, Phillips, Gallagher, Maitland-Niles, Yokuslu, and Robinson. Yeah, no Bamford, that is a big shock. And yeah, forever captain him, whoever brought him in this week, I feel for you. I nearly did the same myself, but I went with Mane. I had a gut feeling. Leicester versus Tottenham. Schmeichel in goal, Timothy Castagna, Fofana, Soyuncu, Albrighton, Tielemans, Ndidi, Thomas, Maddison, Iheanacho and Vardy. For Spurs, no Bale, with Hugo Lloris, Reguilon, Alderweireld, Sanchez, Doherty, Winks, Højbjerg, Son and Bergwijn on the wings, Dele Alli, right behind Harry Kane, which could be his last ever game for Tottenham Hotspur. So many games to go through, so many more lineups. Liverpool versus Palace, Alisson Becker, Arnold, Phillips, Williams, Robertson, Wijnaldum could be his last game for Liverpool. Fabinho, Thiago, Mane, Firmino and Salah. Very good news on that front there. Jota is on the bench and also Mr. Henderson. Manchester City versus Everton. Ederson, Walker, John Stones, Diaz, Sinchenko, De Bruyne, Fernandinho, Foden, Sterling, Jesus, Mahrez. So no Aguero there. Is he on the bench? Yeah, he's on the bench. Okay, he's definitely coming on, isn't he? Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin up front, Sigurdsson, Tom Davis, Allen, Doucouré, Digne, Godfrey, Keane, Holgate, Pickford. Then we look at Sheffield United versus Burnley. Go through these quick. Ramsdale, Basham, Egan, Robinson, Baldock, Norwood, Fleck, Stevens, McGoldrick, Osborne and Jebison. And with Burnley, no Pope, it's Will Norris instead, who played last game. Charlie Taylor, Dunn, Tarkowski, Lowton, Goodmanson, Westwood, Cork, McNeil, Brownhill and Chris Wood up front. West Ham versus Southampton. Creswell starting. Yes, Fabianski starting. There you go. Fabianski starting. Ogbonna, Craig Dawson, Soufal, Soucek, Rice, Bowen, Lingard, Fornals, Antonio. Strong lineup. For Southampton, it's McCarthy. So Hasanutu Ulaya, you started him 3 times in a row. So no Forster. Salisu, Vestergaard, Bednarek, Walker-Peters, Diallo, Armstrong, Minamino, Ward-Prowse, Redmond and Danny Ings up front. Could be his final game for Southampton. And the final one, Manchester United against Wolves. Yep. Rui Patricio, Willy Bolly, Conor Cody, Saiss, Semedo, Dendonco, Jose Mourinho, Joao Matinho, 8 Nuri, Ruben Neves, Adama Traore, Fabio Silva. And then we look at Man United. Yep. So this lineup was actually spot on then, pretty much. Dean Henderson, Alex Telles, Bailly, Twanzebe, Williams, Van der Beek, Matic, James, Amad Diallo, Juan Mata, should I say, and Elanga. Damn, no Greenwood. Unfortunately, that would have been very good. That was kind of one of the only things that they got wrong. But yeah, overall pretty happy with that. Only Greenwood benched. I'll take that. But yeah, it is what it is. And hopefully you lot are happy as well. Yeah, Greenwood benched. Yes, Bamford as well. That's the one that really gets me. I actually had I was mentioning it. I wasn't too sure about his minutes overall, but I thought he'd be, hacked off early or something. United team same as leaked bar Greenwood. Yeah. I want to end it all. Yeah, don't end it all. Don't worry, mate. There's good times to come. Hopefully a green arrow and triple digits. Liverpool going to wear the new kit today. Opinions on it? Looks like Roma. It's literally the first thing I thought about it. Salah or Son? By the way, dinner's ready. Salah. And yeah, dinner will be coming. Or lunch. Bamford is benched. Ouch. Yeah, man. It's just mad. Glad I saw Benjamin Mendy. Yeah, good shout there, Kobe. I mean, I wasn't too sure if he was going to start. If he does, he'll probably do well, but he's not. Did Greenwood to Foden for a hit. Hope he goes big. He could, to be honest, he could. Mourinho in a false 9 for Wolves. It looks like that, doesn't it? It really does. Bale benched again. Another ouch for the differential seekers, yeah. But Aubameyang, Pepe could be doing something. Willock, Mane, Rafinha, Harrison, there's still some good differentials. But yeah, as for the Bale ones, Bale's been another one. Whenever I got him in, he was poor. And, whenever I don't have him, he's getting hat-tricks or he's getting, 15, 20 points. So yeah, he's definitely someone that I'm glad to see the back of next season. Thank you everyone who has tuned in. I really appreciate it. 53 people still watching now. Enjoy the football. I wish you all the best for obviously this game week and for next season. I'll be doing content for that, for UCL Fantasy and potentially for the Euros alongside the Euros in general, Copa America, the Premier League, etc. So hopefully you stay tuned for that. If you haven't already, smash the like button and subscribe if you're new around here and turn on the notification bell to never miss an upload. And also share this video around with friends and family. And follow me on Twitter and Instagram. You can contact me on there as well. You can send me private messages and I will respond to you. And also just public messages. Engage about football, about FPL, about films, about anything. So thank you everyone who's been tuning in across the whole season. This deadline stream has been very good. So many people watching, so many questions, and so much positive vibes. So really appreciate it. I'm going to go eat now, and just wish you all the very best of luck. Enjoy the football, get those green arrows, and let's continue rising. And thank you for all the support this season. Really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And yeah, let's just keep on going, and I'll see you next time.